You're unbelievable.
So these guys use their whole body to hit each other. Yeah, I like to see that.
These guys can catch a ball from 12 feet in the air. I like to see that.
Oh, what a knock!
You're telling me these guys run flat out all afternoon? Yeah, right, I'd like to see that.
Fantastic footy! He's come from nowhere.
36 big guys in very tight shorts. Yeah, I'd like to see that.
These guys spit the dummy at the umpire and get away with it? I'd like to see that.
Tony Modra and Jason Dunstall at either end of Football Park. I'd like to see that.
You're unbelievable.
Settle down, John Wood, because that's exactly what you're going to see this afternoon. Hello everyone and welcome to Football Park here in South Australia. This all-important round 9 clash between the Hawks and the Adelaide Crows, and a warm welcome to one of the champs of the game in Ross Glendinning.
Thank you, Sandy.
Roscoe, a vital game for both sides, particularly the Adelaide Crows, who, well, they had their chance last week to really show something against the reigning champs in Essendon.
Yes, I would have thought their best chance since they've been in the competition, Sandy, but not good enough. And full credit to Essendon, but their forward structure, the Crows that is just lacking at the moment, relying very much on Modra, which isn't good enough. Half forward line must lift, and that includes the likes of Nigel Smart and his counterparts there. Tony Hall will help come into the side today.
Let's have a look at the Adelaide lineup, Ross.
And those players I've highlighted there, Smart, one I've spoken about. Tony Hall, terrific player, first game back against his old team. He'll really look forward to that. David Brown, a player who needs to just get around that half forward line and crumb a bit more. I know he's been off the bench a bit, but an important player in kicking those 2 and 3 goals in a game.
Hawthorn, on the other hand, Ross, after major hiccups early on in the season, really have steadied now with Peter Knights, and although they trailed at quarter time last week, it was then the Jason Dunstall show with 10 goals against the Bears, and they're looking pretty good.
They are, and their game against the Eagles a few weeks ago in Perth was a catalyst for this role they're on. Stephen Lawrence, not that impressive last week, but just coming back into the side is an important move. Hargraves, a terrific young player who just kicked some opportunist goals up forward, 4 last week, and Mark Graham at centre-half back was outstanding last week, and a player I'm really looking forward to seeing this afternoon.
By the noise in the background, I suggest that it's not Hawthorn that's just come out onto the ground. Right. Well, here they are, and it says it all, finals. Play for it, and it will come, and that's how important this game is for the Adelaide Crows this afternoon. They've got to get back on the winning list, particularly here at home, if they're going to hold their spot in the top 8. Tony Modra, well, he's had a wonderful season so far, but it's going to be a major test. And for those people watching here to see 2 great forwards in action this afternoon, wherever you may be watching, we certainly hope that you will enjoy it too at home. Another game is being played this afternoon. That's out at Waverley between Fitzroy and St Kilda to complete this round 9. Now, some stations around the country will be seeing a replay of highlights of that game a little bit later on. Throughout the afternoon, we're going to be showing the score, so if you don't want to know, then at that time, just look away. We shall look away just for a moment. When we return, we'll be back with all the action here at Football Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, on behalf of the Adelaide Football Club and the Toyota dealers, welcome to the home of South Australian Football Park. This afternoon, round 9 of the minor round features the Adelaide Camry Crows and Hawthorn. The central umpires are not with us as yet, but we can give you the alterations to the team. For the Crows, out of the 24, number 4, Sean Tasker, number 29, Anthony Anderson, and number 35, Rodney Jamison. For the Hawthorn team, out is number 28, Alex McDonald, and number 29, Darren Baxter, and 31, Greg Madigan. The central umpires for this afternoon's clash, Trevor Garrett, Rowan Saws and James Van Beek, with Tim Piper being the reserve. Boundary umpires, Darren Wilson, Randall Shepherd and Brad Pettit. And the goal umpires, Mike Nicolai and Peter Simon. Captain of the Adelaide Crows, of course, is Chris McDermott. The vice-captain, Tony McInnes. For Hawthorn, the captain is Chris Langford and the vice-captain, Jason Dunstall. On the interchange bench to start the game for the Crows, David Pittman, David Brown and Peter Turner. We thank both John Hooks and Barry Downs for the information and cooperation received.
Welcome back to Football Park here in South Australia. Another excellent crowd for this all-important clash. Our boundary rider once again is King Curls, Neil Curley, who's down there. Heard a bit of a whisper actually that Curls popped over to Huntingdale earlier this week. And am I correct in saying, Curls, you did leave some money in Victoria?
I left a little bit of my hard-earned South Australian money in Victoria.
Did it hurt?
Robbo was too good. Robbo and Sam were too good on the day. But there will be another day.
I'm sure there will.
Now, of course, we have Rodney Maynard here with us today. Rodney, that arm, I'd like to tell some of the viewers how's it coming along.
Yeah, good, yeah. Hopefully I'm looking forward to playing next week. If doctors give me the okay, I train this week and everything seems to be on the forward move at the moment. So wear a guard and get back next week, probably in the local competition.
Because those faithful Hawthorn supporters over in Victoria who are now watching can well remember your first game here against Hawthorn, and I think from a half-back flank slipped down and slipped through 3 goals.
Yeah, got pretty lucky that night. I think it was just the first game, the initial first game for the Crows. I think, like I said to you, I could have probably ran for 2 days. I was that excited about playing out here, and I think they just drove through the game, and then we ended up winning by, 15 or 16 goals in the end.
Well, we both know it's going to be a much tougher contest today. Hawthorn are very settled. They haven't made a change for about 2 or 3 weeks. Their goal-to-goal line, I think, is as good as any in the comp, and the preparation by the Crows this week, what's it been like?
Yeah, good. I mean, our training was good last week as well, but the game was disappointing. So our training this week's been positive, and to hit in hard and to probably, to try and, pick up their attacking players a lot harder and closer so they can't get down to Dunstall and all that. Because I think if their on-ballers get enough of the ball, I mean, Dunstall will kick some goals.
And their half-forward line, that's if they line up that way with Hudson, Taylor and D. Jarman, that's a very dangerous half-forward line.
Yeah, well, the half-back line will have some work to do, Mark Studio and that. And, I don't know who's going to line up at centre half-back. Now, Jamo's out, so, I mean... But no, it's going to be a tough encounter.
Well, they've caught the Crows in a very weak situation in defence, I feel, because with yourself out, with Scotty Lee out, we've lost a lot of experience. Now with Jamison out, the Crows have lost a lot of experience, and there's a lot of inexperienced players back there.
Yeah, a lot of the young guys, but I think they're up to it. I mean, the Sean Wellmans and Stephen Swert's in, and, as I said, I don't know the changes, but I think you might find Nigel Smart will line up at centre half-back too today. So, I mean, so that might give us a bit more drive out of there as well. So, no, I think we'll be up to the challenge today.
And it should be a classic duel between the 2 full forwards. Like you've got two of the best full forwards at Dunstan, of course. Certainly a great player in that position, and Modra an emerging great. So that's going to be a great duel.
Yes, yeah. Well, Langford on Modra by all accounts, I mean, it'd be a great duel. I mean, if Tony can pick up his 4 or 5, I think that'll be a good day for him against Langford. And I mean, we just need a couple other forwards that can kick some goals as well. I mean, we need Tony Hall to kick 2 or 3, and, you know, the Rovers to get a couple as well. So we don't need Tony just as a goal kicker. We need someone else to share it around today.
Well, thanks, Rod, and all the best for that arm, and good luck in your comeback next week. And back to you, Sandy.
Good on you, Curls. Thank you very much, and all the best to Rodney Maynard. Hopefully back on the track next week. We'll take a break, both sides out on the ground and just about set to go for this round 9 clash.
Chris Langford from Hawthorn has won the toss and is elected to kick to the late end, the northern end.
Welcome back to Football Park. The Newshounds have been hard at work. With the latest news is that Tony McGuinness is heavy with the flu. So that might make his afternoon just that little bit tougher. One man who is looking forward to an exciting afternoon, though, and a warm welcome, Dennis Cometti. Dennis?
Yeah, thanks, Sandy. That's just about enough to sway me. I think McGuinness has the flu, so I think the Hawks can win this afternoon. And as you said at the outset, essential for both these clubs. And there's a man who had a bit to say as they were doing their warm-ups. Chris McDermott. One of the words used, pathetic. I think that describes their effort last week against the Bombers. They really did capitulate.
Big job for Paul Rouvray. He's got Jason Dunstall. So we're just about set to go. There's been very little rain in South Australia now for months. They need some badly.
And Sandy Nigel Smart lining up at centre half back, picking up the very important Jason Taylor.
As you predicted.
And as Rod Jamieson mentioned, could well happen. So there we are, the Crows bench. Full house here at Football Park. And a vital game, particularly for the home side. They'll be relying so much on big Sean Wren. Jarman tried to get a touch out of the middle. There's going to be a free kick, and it's going to go the way of a former South Australian.
Yes, it was Jarman who gave that free kick away against Platt and Sandy around the neck.
Well, he'll be looking for a big day today. Had a wry smile on the plane this morning as he gave him a bit of a nudge and said, we're going home. I think he had a feeling that he'd like a big day. Dunstall caught. Ball spills free. The umpire lets play go on. Anderson coming back into the side after out last week. Goes wide to the outer wing. First to the football could be Shane Crawford. Got rid of it very quickly and recovered it equally as quickly. Tongaree comes in a little late. Wasn't sure whether the whistle had sounded. Back to Crawford again. The Hawks go down towards half forward. It's on their 50-metre line. Chance now for Rashudo. Had it for a moment. Jarman gets the hand pass out wide towards Anderson. Close to the boundary line, and Hudson sees him over.
The players definitely stopped there, Sam, because they thought that the umpire will allow Crawford to go back for his kick, but in fact he said he played on, and the advantage supposedly was there, which it wasn't, but that was the umpire's interpretation.
So, and a free kick has been found for Greg Anderson. So he kicks up towards the centre wing. Wiedemann in front takes a strong mark. Off he goes to his skipper, and now Tongaree.
Tongaree hunt against the boundary line, boots it around the outer side. Awkward bounce. Collins gets back inside his own defensive 50. This is Allen across half back towards the middle. Well picked up by Condon. The mark not paid. The umpire said it was a half volley. Pritchard goes back with courage and takes a terrific grab. Not paid. Oh, you're kidding. In goes Smart, slaps it out. Wren out of trouble. Into Moore. Down he goes. Platten away to Allen. This is Condon. Condon in short. And Hudson low down takes the mark. Well, Pritchard took a mark. No question about that. Oh. Hudson. Interesting. Dunstall. Look out. Dunstall. Deep in the pocket. Pulls it back. What a great kick. Superb.
They got around so quickly and then did the right thing. A lot of full forwards would probably have had a shot from there. He had time to straighten up on his right foot, in fact, and run a few more steps closer, but never intent on doing that. Always looking to the front of the square. And a terrific kick.
Crawford from 30 metres. The first goal of the afternoon.
And they should well have gone forward earlier because Pritchard should have been paid the mark on the wing. It wasn't. And the kick from Hudson was terrible, having taken a kick from, or a mark from Condon. Terrible kick this, but Dunstall with his class just getting away from Rouvray far too easily. Well played.
So a good start by the Hawks with Crawford getting there first. Wren gets it down to McGuinness, who tumbles a punt down towards the half-forward line, was looking for Ross. Tongaree couldn't quite get a run going. He tried hard. Still on the 50-metre line, and a bounce to take place.
Well played there. Ray Jenke there, the desperate stuff to dive on the ball. Get out of the way of Tongaree running through, as Sandy mentioned.
At half-forward for the Crows. And a free kick's been picked up. It's gone to Ross. A bit of holding on going there, Roscoe.
Yes, and they're those tiggy ones, but the umpire saw it.
Pass he's been watching Hudson at the other end of the ground. It wasn't good. Gows over the top. Wanted Langford, who whips it somewhat subtly over the line. The anxious Crow bench looks on. Current temperature of 18 degrees, so we've exceeded the top. Maybe the odd shower or two today, but it's hard to see too much rain here. The wild weed is at the bottom of the pack.
Mark Rashudo, the big job on Darren Jarman.
Ross with the right hand was down looking for McGuinness. Platten, however, takes it away, keeping the ball in front. Well done by Lipton. Gets it across to Schwern. Lovely kick in towards goal and belted over the line. In fact, it's going to be kept in play by Ben Allen. Goes back to Langford. And the skipper comes away. Kicks to the half-back line. A beautiful kick too, finding Anthony Condon. He has a look up towards the middle. Jarman is there, Taylor is there. Prosciutto's waiting down in front. The hand pass may have been meant for Jarman, but it just sackled just a little too far. Tregenza gets one over the top to Liptak. Back he goes once again for the old 1-2. Tregenza goes to ground, and Clayton will come away for the Hawks.
And plenty of time too. Left half back towards the wing. Wellman off his boot. Wren back to Wellman. That was quick and slick in towards half forward. Ross leads in the race. McDermott to Jarman alongside the centre circle. Pokes one out wide. Liptak needs it to sit. Jenke, great use of the body. Give him Cole. Kicks towards the outer side. Allen. He can take it and go. Dunstall comes on the lead. How's the kick? Well, the mark was terrific, and the kick needed another metre. As it was, Dunstall made it better than it was.
Yes, that's the advantage of his pace, making up that shortfall in the kick, as Dennis mentioned. A lot of players would not have got there in time to take that on the full.
So Dunstall, a long way out. He'll kick from 55. The Hawks haven't lost a game he's played in this season. He goes for distance. Hits the post about halfway up. Good effort from there. Hawthorn on top by 7 points. The early going at Football Park on a grey day. Hawthorn bench. Time remaining.
Yeah, Steve Lawrence starting on that bench too, allowing Paul D to follow Sean Wren around.
The breeze not a factor. Schwert to Hart. To the wing. Wiedemann's in front. Knocked away well. Good work by Cooper, but Anderson loads the pack and kicks to half forward. Collins in front. It runs free. Graham, nicely done, like a pace runner going into second. Pops it back to the wing. Gowers has it. Andy Gowers enjoying a good season. Goes down towards half forward. In front is Taylor, knocked away by Smart. Wren will need to go here. Hargraves crashes in, and the ball goes out of bounds. Boundary throw in, left half forward for Hawthorn, who lead by 7 points.
Hawks have a good recent record against Adelaide. Of course, Adelaide open with a big win. Here's Condon, 55 towards Dunstall again. Couldn't quite pick it up on the half volley, and under pressure now. They fall all over the top out of their free kick. To be taken on the last line of defence. Short to Wellman. He's in half back. Wren drifting down to the wing with Nigel Smart. He elects to go even shorter. Finding Schwert, could be danger. McInnes is not 100%. He's lost the football. Platten swoops on it, shoots it towards goal, and has put it through. Costly mistake, Roscoe.
Yes, to go in board. Just perhaps a bit of inexperience there from Schwert, who I admire as a player, but the option wasn't right there. When you're in that defensive area, here's the handballs from Schwert. Going in board, particularly if you're going back towards the boundary, not so bad, but under pressure was McInnes from Hudson. And the player you don't want to finish off in that area, Johnny Platten, did the job.
Possessions already for John Platten, and the lead is 13 points. Wren goes up, thumps it down past the centre circle. Pritchard picks it up. Cooper swings it out wide. Prosciutto leads back in the race. Coming to meet him is Hargraves. It's close to the boundary line. Prosciutto played it pretty well. Feeds it back inside. Tregenza lays it off to Hart. Quick hands away to Wren. Back to Tregenza. Tregenza down towards half forward. Oh, and a great mark is taken in front by Graham. Hopefully they'll pay that one.
He took 12 like that last week, and that's the strength of this fellow.
Away they come through. Jenke, Hawthorn were looking good. Crawford missed it. Tregenza, clever, tapped it away from him. Jarman in trouble, like a cork in the ocean. Jarman in short. Wiedemann. Good strong mark in front of Cooper. Right on the wing. Wiedemann pops it out wide. Schwert runs to open space. Schwert about 60 metres from goal.
Monroe makes a lead, then goes back. Let's go to drop short. Was he off? No. Nearly. Very nearly, I think. Graham goes wide over to his skipper in Langford. Out of trouble to Andy Collins. Drifted in towards the centre of the ground, and the mark taken by Tim Hargraves. Off he goes again to the running Collins. He's come right down to centre wing and pushes it in towards the 50. No mark taken. Wellman and Hudson. Hudson coming in over the top and asking the question. Wellman at the bottom. And a bounce will take place.
Well, Sandy, I think if Graham Corns were a basketball coach, he'd call for a timeout about now. The Crows can't get the ball.
It's been a lightning start by Hawthorn. Wren again doing the ruck work. Off to McDermott and now Smart. High kick straight to Johnny Platt. Short again. Hargraves was after it on the half volley. He may get another chance, go over the top to Platten. Couldn't quite find him with the first one. Platten tries to knock it on. They pounce upon him. And another bounce. Still on the 50-metre line for the Hawks. Had a good week on the track, Hawthorn, and came over this morning with a fair amount of confidence. Jarman had it, but only for a moment. McDermott ducked his head and is going to get one for a tackle too high. Well, he was fired up at the start of the game. Not impressed with their effort last week. Short to Wellman. The fullback comes away. Kicks to the open spaces. Well, how open are they? Maybe okay for Schwerk. Needs Anderson and uses him now. He's running out of room. Goes inside to Wiedemann. The Wheat wants someone going past. McDermott is there. And Rashudo. He picks the ladder. Rashudo could come to the wing and Schwerk. He's got him now. Off to Anderson. Jarman saying, put it down here. That's where it heads. Jarman leaves it. It goes over the top as it's pushed away. Taken by Graham, who chances his arm. And he does well as he gains valuable meterage and sees it over the line on centre wing.
I'm impressed with this young fellow, Sandy. He debuted last year for Hawthorn against the Crows here. Found it hard to get another game last year. In fact, he didn't play another one, but last week was just outstanding.
That was dashing defence from half back. McDermott stood up in the tackle. Away to Schwerk, confronted, pops it over the top. Tregenza to McGuinness. Great acceleration, great tackle too. Platten got him, but it comes back. Tregenza inside the 50, gets by a teammate, kicks towards goal, but it's a wayward kick and bounces out of bounds in the left full forward pocket. The breeze not a factor. It's going across the ground, but certainly not like we saw in Melbourne yesterday. Thankfully, it really did influence the outcome of several games. Made it tough for the players. Ross in front. Graham again, strong tackle. McGuinness, that was ambitious. Collins, so was that. Jarman, 25 metres out, but a whistle. High tackle, I fancy, and Collins will get the free. Well, Collins taking on the tacklers there.
Yes, McGuinness was ambitious early, as you said, Dennis, and then Collins just came in his usual burrowing style and earned the free kick.
Collins to Jenke. Is it right half back? Hawthorn looking very slick. Mark is taken by Gowers. Hargraves is on. Here's Hargraves. Waits. Gets past Anderson. Back to Gowers. Good run on the outer side by Hart. Got him down. Hargraves a second chance. This is Taylor. Well gathered by the big man to Crawford. Crawford hard against the boundary line. Pulls it around the corner. Hargraves to Pritchard. Pritchard right on the 50. One out contest. Well, the league is blessed by outstanding forwards. And he loses nothing in comparison to any of them. Jason Dunstall, marvellous effort. He's directly in front. He's 12 metres out. And a chance to move the margin to 19 points. Dunstall, 28 goals in 4 games this season. Well, just. Hawthorn looking very good.
Yes, and Dunstall was the downfall of the Crows in this corresponding game last year. He kicked 9, including 5 in a second quarter effort, which basically turned the game around for the Hawks. They were down by 15 points or so at quarter time, and such an important player. Enough said.
Points the margin, and the Crows still looking for a score. Past Tonga, he goes in again. Now Liptak gets it out to Wiedemann. A said in our opener, Roscoe, we could be in for an afternoon with two great forwards in action.
My word, and no better fullback to have on you than Chris Langford. Good effort by Modra.
Modra has kicked 38 for the season. And he won't add to that with that kick. Slews off the side of the boot.
Was that out of bounds on the full or a point?
I think it was out of bounds on the full.
Oh, okay.
Allen brings it back into play. I'm sorry, Dan. Gowers! Big leap. And playing well. Towards centre wing. Hart, however, chips across and intercepts.
Not hanging up my flags. There's Hart. Short to Smart. Smart forward of the wing. Unloads. Long kick inside the 50. Tailor-made for Langford. He comes from behind. McGuinness.
Smother.
Well done by McGuinness, his namesake. Cooper towards the boundary line. Condon tracks it across.
Very important smother because Modra was on his own in the goal square because Langford had committed himself to that contest. Did the right thing too. Langford got the spoil away. But Scott McGuinness affecting a terrific smother.
Ross in trouble. Jarred loose. Jarman picks it up. In short. Jenke plays on immediately. Langford looks to the outer side. Kicks for grass. Leading back in the race is Crawford. Needs a bounce. Gets one. Runs onto the ball at full tilt. Goes down towards half forward. Taylor has to stretch. He can't get there in time. And the ball runs away from him on the bounce. Out of bounds at right half forward.
Peter Knights will now, in the next few minutes, swing Stephen Lawrence onto the ball. Paul Deere, no doubt, will come off. Interchanging on Sean Wren there to wear the big fellow down, who was a terrific player last week in a badly beaten side.
Under 7 minutes remaining. Jarman at the back. Had it for a moment, and his brother's in there too. A lip tack. Also for a moment. Tregenza taken off the football. Jarman's away. And the Crows out of trouble towards McGuinness. Diving mark on centre wing. They still haven't scored in what must be a first here at Football Park.
Ross on the outer side, and the ball goes across the boundary line. Those odds tell the story. Adelaide, warm favourites this afternoon, belying the scoreboard at the present time. Trailing by 19 points, and Hawthorn looking razor sharp. Here's Collins. Trying to burrow through, socket off the ground by McGuinness, who goes again. Tregenza nicely done at close quarters. Wiedemann pulls it back inside the 50. Allen, full-chested, met it, controlled it, comes away with it. And the finish is great, finds Pritchard.
He's on half-back. Hawks at the moment have all the answers, but it's still very early. Deere will be the target. Good Wren charging back at him. Wren still going. Well, he's an exciting big man. He's only played 50 games, and he's got a wonderful future. Hart up towards centre wing. Now Tony Hall. Over the top to Liptak. Into half forward and Wiedemann.
Ball is off. Lawrence on. David Brown coming on too for the Crows. Tongaree the player off.
There's the kick. Where's Modra? Langford charges clear. Crow fans thought their champ may have been held, but Langford's away, off to the outer side and off to Pritchard. Down to centre wing and over. Now Jarman sneaks away from Rashudo. In towards half forward, but only as far as Hart, who takes a timely defensive mark. Big test for him today because this defence is somewhat inexperienced. Liptak again. Brown just come onto the ground. Bad one for Anderson, but he may have time to recover. He does. 52 metres out. He pumps it high. Modra will be the flyer. In front was Langford. Waiting down Collins. And they're out of trouble once again. McGuinness comes wide to Jenke. Raymond Jenke from the back pocket will find Gowers. Almost down to centre wing. They're looking good, Hawthorn. Into Taylor, who's just forward of centre. Jason Taylor. Here's Dunstall. Lovely kick. And a diving mark to the champion.
And again, all because Chris Langford was prepared to play in front from the full-back area, and they got it away out of that very dangerous thrust by the Crows with some precise kicking.
Dunstall averaging over 4.5 a game. He's kicked 939 goals in his 194 game career.
Raiden Tallis on the ground for Hawthorn, replacing Darren Pritchard.
But now Jason Dunstall continues on his merry way and boots another. 2 goals to Dunstall in in what is a very good quarter of football for Hawthorn. They're 4-1, and the Crows, with just under 4 minutes to play, still haven't scored.
Yes, and what the Crows are finding is when they lose possession of the ball, a quality side like Hawthorn make them pay very dearly because their kicking is very precise. They've got players very good in the air who are also mobile on the ground, and they've taken full toll of some of those Crows' mistakes.
25 points the margin. Adelaide come forward down towards their half-forward line. Well, Ross didn't look at the ball. Graham did, found it on the ground. Jarman in trouble. Crawford, nicely done. Lawrence missed it. Tallis. And now Clayton, who's been terrific, smothered off the boot by McDermott. Brown got it to Jarman, who was going nowhere. And it's play on now. Holding the ball was paid. This is Darren Jarman. Once more looks for and finds Dunstall.
Yes, sorry, Dennis.
Away you go, Ross.
So the change having been made, Rouvray coming off, Dunstall with Wellman picking him up. I think you might find 3 or 4 players have a good run at Dunstall. I'm not sure they've got the player to match him.
Dunstall kicks, bends it back, it's another goal. His third. And how about this scoreline? 5-1 to zip.
Good tackle there, gang tackle. And Tallis, who's just come on the ground, featuring there. Terrific kick.
So a great start for the Hawks and a great start for their champion full forward. Back in the middle, the margin 31 points. Lawrence as far as lip tack. Very short to Brown, high up and under, down towards half forward. Big pack at the fall of the ball. Ross was up, knocked away by Graham. Here's Wiedemann charging through Crawford. McGuinness has the run of it towards the boundary line. Tregenz is in there, it's out of bounds. Well, Adelaide have the distinction of posting the only scoreless quarter this season. That was their second against Footscray back in round 5. They're about to match it.
The Hawks out of trouble once again over the centre with under 3 minutes remaining in this first quarter. One that has been barren to date for the Crows. Rouvray in all sorts of bother. This could be costly. Taylor charges towards the football, gets it off to Hudson. Hudson inside 50. Short kick, Anderson couldn't take it. Gowes has it only for a moment. Lawrence almost spooned it out to Dunstall, and there's another one. Oh. This is a rout. 4 goals to the champion forward and 6 to the Hawks, and an interesting spoon out.
Well, it's their preparedness to do the team thing again, centering the ball. The umpire was to the left of us, behind those players. Here comes the knock on with a tablespoon, and another goal to Dunstall.
37 points the margin. This crowd at Football Park is stunned. Gowes gets a kick down towards the half-forward line. Tallis is there. It's going to be a free kick going against Hart, however, to Hudson, who was playing in front. Now down to Dunstall again. Little too far, over the top. His recovery's good, and he pops through yet another. Oh, can you believe this? That is 5 to the champ and 7 to the Hawks in a stunning quarter of football.
Well, I mentioned earlier on that he kicked 5 in the second quarter last year in round 6. Well, he's opened up with 5 this year. Wants to get them a bit earlier, and what a start they've made.
Well, this is remarkable. Interesting stat. I remember making it the point earlier in the season. In the 13 quarters without Jason Dunstall this season, the Hawks were outscored 70 goals to 31. People say, what's he worth? Well, it's being underlined right here. This is emphatic. And Hawthorn looking terrific. So much confidence generated in a team when they've got a player like that up forward, Ross.
Well, no doubt every team would. I think if you asked any player, coach, opposition-wise, who would you like in your team as first pick, Jason Dunstall's name would come up very quickly. Rouvray is off. Turner is on to pick up Hudson in that back pocket.
They're not queuing up to play at full back at the present time. McGuinness tackled. Free kick is going Adelaide's way. Wren, the worse for wear. McDermott to Ross, who boots it out wide. Ill-directed, Gower's on his chest. Little short pass. Hudson at full stretch. Finger-tipper. Wants to go. They've got plenty of confidence now. Lawrence to Allen. This is something special. Dunstall on the end of it. He'll wait behind it. Runs free. Platten picks it up. Open goal beckons. Bang! Another one. What is the past tense of route? That's the second goal for Platten.
Well, I won't elaborate on that.
Not will I.
And again, Hawthorn just showing great teamwork here, and there's a great deal of concern in that Adelaide defence. They have got players changing all around. No one can settle. The on-ball players for the Crows can't get their fair share of it, and when they do get their ball, they're just not going forward with any confidence because there's no one to kick to at half forward.
49 points the margin. Red in ruck again. 8-1 to Zip. McGuinness out of the middle. Inside the last minute. They must score here. 44 seconds remaining. Hall has taken a mark.
It's interesting, Sandy. It's not as if the Crows haven't had the footy. I mean, they've had it almost as much as what Hawthorn have. It just shows you've got to use it when you get it.
Well, Tony Hall will be hoping to do that now. Of course, playing against his old club, he'll be keen to do well. From 49 metres, it's going to struggle for the distance. And over the line in the left forward pocket for the Crows, still no score.
Nigel Smart back into the forward area. Jonathan Ross to centre half back, picking up Jason Taylor.
Graham doing the ruck work with a right hand. There's been a free kick picked out as Hall was heading for goal. Some pushing, illegal pushing going on there. So McGuinness in the back pocket will give it over to Graham, and he will come to Condon, and they're not going to score. They have not scored for the quarter, the Adelaide Crows, and it has been a stunning quarter by Hawthorn. Jarman walks off pondering what has gone on in the last 25 minutes, and this is the answer. That man right there, Jason Dunstall, has booted 5. Let's check the score here at Football Park. The Happy Hawkers are 8-1, 49, and they lead by 49. Welcome back to Football Park. Do not adjust your sets. That scoreline is correct. 8-1, 49. Hawthorn. Jason Dunstall has booted 5. The Crows are yet to score. Now there's another match taking place today. It's between St Kilda and Fitzroy as Graham Corn speaks to young Tongaree as he leaves the ground. If you don't want to know the score of this other game at Waverley, then look away now because here it comes. Dennis Cometti and the choir in action there and sounding awfully good too. As I said, some players will have a replay of that match and this one a little bit later on. I want to go down to the boundary line because I'm wondering if the old rider is absolutely stunned. What do you, Curls, what do you make of it?
Well, for those Hawthorn viewers back home, you're only seeing half of just how well the Hawthorn players are playing on the screen. Their cooperation, their attitude, their commitment and their run all over the ground is just far too much for the Crows. They can't handle it. The Hawthorn side here are playing fantastic football today and they're just making the Crows look second rate. They're far too good at this stage.
Thank you, Curls. So set to go in the second quarter, and I don't think I've seen this crowd, Ross, as quiet as this at this stage of a game.
I'd agree with you.
Can I just say I think the Crows have copped a break here. If I'm not mistaken, that breeze is backing around a little bit and blowing down towards their end.
Perhaps they'll need it. Here we go. Second quarter, 49 points the margin. Wren comes charging in at the football a little too late. Deere takes it out of the air and kicks to half forward towards Taylor. It's belted away from him. Waiting down in front was Pritchard and also McDermott. The latter gets it off to Jarman, who finds Schwerk. Hurriedly gets boot the ball towards the running Smart. He gets a bad bounce. Graham had an excellent first quarter. He picks this one up. Needs help. Gets it through Andy Collins. And Collins steadies on that half back line. Kicks back towards centre wing. They've certainly got the numbers here this time. This is Wellman for the Crows. Comes through the wing, kicks up towards half forward, but again, Graham is the stumbling block.
Yeah, the crowd thinking that Smart or Hall touched that first.
Here's McGuinness towards the wing. McDermott waits, kicks towards half forward, a floater. Modra, almost. This is Wiedemann in trouble. Now Brown sold into trouble. McGuinness somehow got through. Platten, who's been very close to him this afternoon. Strong tackling's been the key. Schwerk back to McGuinness, who gets away from Platten this time and kicks a goal. We'll talk about belated. Their first score of the afternoon. And they trail by 43 points.
And Mike Wiedemann has to learn. He's got to give the first option. He hangs onto the ball far too long. Hesitates. He puts his teammates out of position, and they get away with it through the class of Tony McGuinness. Has the strength to break through a tackle of Platten and then follows up a well-readed one.
Well, will that be the spark that the Crows need to get back in the game as the ball ricochets off the face of Greg Anderson and another bounce still in the middle? Certainly brought the crowd to life. Still in the middle. Wren with the height advantage wins it. Anderson leaves it for his captain. Now Jarman through, but he loses out to Taylor. Gets a hurried kick, gathering little distance. May almost reclaim it himself. No, can't do so. Deere tries to get the hand pass out. He does so. Here they go again, down towards the half-forward line. It came from McCrawford off to Hargraves. Stabs it in towards Dunstall, but intercepting was Jarman. Oh. Look out! Standing his ground, Peter Turner. Only his second game for the youngster. Brown belts it clear, but straight to Graham. Off to Jarman. Short little chip kick is good to Deere. And the Hawks will go forward from the middle. He pulls it round beautifully to Platten. Hargraves is alone if he can get there. Now they close in on him. He gets a kick. Which way will it bounce? Well, it skids through for one behind to the Hawks. Tim Hargraves having his first score as the Crows make an early change, Ross, in this second quarter.
There's Jonathan Ross to come off, Pittman to come on. And we'll go to centre-half back, I would assume, to replace Ross in that position.
Schwerk to Turner. Turner, high, long kick towards the outer side. Terrific mark. Great judgment by Gowers, but a free kick is going to the Crows. Liptak will take it. Liptak centres the ball towards half forward. In front Crawford. It was knocked away. Down went Brown on his knees. Gets it to Tregenza. In trouble Wiedemann. Dragged to the ground. Holding the ball, says the umpire. Gang tackling. Dia feeds it off. Condon out wide. This is Cooper. Irresistible at the present time, the Hawks. Hudson gets by Wellman too easily. And the kick finds its target. This is Jarman about 35 metres out from goal.
Yes, the little thing's definitely running with Hawthorn. Dennis, you say irresistible because of that. Perhaps a few weeks ago, Hawthorn player there, Hudson, may have gone out of bounds with a footy, but just kept it in play, and then a beautiful kick to find Jarman.
Yes. Ross, isn't there attack on the ball fierce?
Oh, there's an earlier clash in that, late in that first quarter where Crawford came through in front of William, and it was just typified how they're playing.
Jarman goes goalward and gets it. A smile from Darren Jarman, his first goal, and Hawthorn kicked further away. It's 9-2 to a goal.
Yes, the Crows fans thinking that was high on Wiedemann, but again, he's not able to instinctively get rid of that ball quickly. And this setup here allows Darren Jarman to kick his 100th career goal.
And so the ton comes up for Jarman, number 100, as we go back to the middle and socket off the ground once again. Tregenza leads in the race for the football. Off to their only scorer, McGuinness. He might make it 2. He's 55 metres out for goal. Sets out with a long century kick. Oh, what a great back by Liptak.
Showing some spark, McGuinness, but we're told suffering a little from the flu, so that might just be intermittent sparks.
And there's Liptak. He kicks their second and his 13th for the season.
And he's the sort of player, Sandy, that has to lift along with cohorts on the ball like Brown, Jarman, McDermott, those sort of running players to feed the ball forward to allow their forwards to be constructive. Just not enough of that happening at the moment.
56 plays 12 early on in the second quarter. Another packed house here at Football Park. It's the one thing that's usually guaranteed when you come here, and it's great to see. Wren tries to really belt it clear, and he gets it on the second attempt. Down towards half forward. Jarman is there, however. He cuts it off, gets the hand pass away. The Hawks maintaining control on centre wing as the mark is taken by Ben Allen. Kick coming from Cooper.
Can Neil try and take him out then? I'll have it stay hard, don't they?
With him, yes. Hudson at the back, inside 50. Hargraves off to Taylor on a tight angle. A chip across the face of goal it goes. Dunstall is there. Hart's got the job on him now, and he sees it over the line.
He's opponent number 3, and there was some suggestion that perhaps he was the player for the job initially. However, his attacking skills are very much needed further up the ground, which is where he started.
After the boundary throw in, Liptak's over the ball and in trouble. Gowers out of the pack. Oh, Dunstall in front. Just the half chance. He was in the right spot and showed a little more desperation. 5 goals in the first quarter from this man, lining up for number 6.
Yes, and just a clever kick there from Gowers too, to keep the ball in the air, not to grab it along the ground. Under pressure, a good kick.
Runs around, opens the angle, and I think he may have missed. He has, near side.
5-2 to Dunstall.
He has a great record against these Crows, only his 7th game against them. 40 goals in those quarters of football. Wellman on the outer side to the run of Turner. Kick through the wing, here comes Smart. And the ball goes out of bounds. And there's a contrast. We've seen a couple of situations. Hawthorn players full tilt towards the boundary, controlling the ball with one hand. That time Smart, similar circumstance, unable to do it. Boundary throw in. Graham works his way in front. Knocked out of there by Jenke against the flow. Schwert pushed off it. He goes again. Schwert tries to get it back to Jarman. Well, he found a Jarman, or rather the Jarman, if that makes sense. This is Anderson across the ground. Hargraves slick hands away, but the ball will come back. It's going to be an Adelaide free kick.
Yes, Anderson was dealt with after he got rid of the footy by Jarman. Was that D Jarman, Dennis? That was D Jarman.
There goes the kick down towards half forward from Wiedemann. Big leap behind there by Graham, who got it away. Comes to Hall, however, from McGuinness. The short one is on to Brown. So Brown has a chance. About 20 metres out on a slight angle.
Well, there's no question the Crows had to improve their play, and whilst they might be nipping back with a few goals, might be a bit late.
Brown always left.
Chris Langford brings it back into play as the Crows move to 2 goals 1, trailing the Hawkers, who are 9-3, and Crawford runs them out of defence. He's down over centre wing now and pumps it towards the 50-metre line. With plenty of holding on going on from both, but the umpire has decided that it's got to go to the Crows. Pittman gives it to Anderson. Short little chip across, finds Jarman. He goes back towards the centre wing, and the mark taken by Brown. Off he goes. In towards half forward. Tony Hall the target, but at the back and defending stoutly is Ray Jenke. Langford runs off. It's a beautiful kick, and he finds him on half back. Wants to go on with the job. To the run of Crawford. Off towards Jarman. Playing in front. A touch at good mark in opposition to Rashudo. Jarman to half forward. Platten at the back. Inside 50 is the rack. Away he goes from Wren. Kicks it high and towards goal. Dunstall from behind. Got the fly. Sucker up the ground. No, he gets the hand out to Hargraves. And Hargraves has kicked the goal. Well, exciting stuff. Thought for a moment I could see number 6 coming up, Roscoe.
Well, that's just an example of how much of a team-oriented player he is. And right from the time that Ray Jenke took a mark in that back line and kicked to the run of Langford, they were in control the whole time, just set it up beautifully. Even the kick there of Platten was high, may have appeared to be indiscriminate. The team-oriented play of Dunstall outstanding there.
Dunstall, 8 kicks and 1 hand pass. The last one very effective. And back in the middle, a free kick to McDermott, taken high. 10-3-2-1. Hawthorn on top. Scoreless opening term from the Crows. Here's McDermott, their skipper. Well, as if by design, that ball goes to Gowers. The signs are bad as far as the Crows are concerned. Hargraves kicks it down towards half forward. Hudson is loose. Will it stay in for him? It's close to the boundary line. Hudson sets off, has a bounce, pulls it back. Dunstall's in front. Hart knocks away. The crowd love it. McDermott. Turner waits. Brown has it. Gets it on. The pressure is terrific, but they weathered the storm this time. Wiedemann got it to Jarman. Over the top to Liptak. Liptak very short to Smart. Smart's at right half forward. 70 metres from goal. Where's Modra? It runs through for a behind.
The difference there, Dennis, Hawthorn would have kicked to a leading Dunstall, who would have been running down the centre of the ground, not to the pocket. And they could easily have squared the ball there. They had time to do it.
In fact, it was out of bounds, apparently, so a throw it.
In the right forward pocket for the Crows. Deer in front of Wren, but it's Wren who wins it down towards Hall. Had it for a moment. Now Cooper working hard in the pack. Gets a short little chip that finds Gowers. Things just going exactly right for Hawthorn today. Back it goes for Gowers.
It went that way, Sandy, because the boundary umpire thought it was touched off the boot, so he thought it would have been out of bounds. That's why it's come back.
But he has the kick. He goes to the half back line. And this time a good mark by Rashudo. Another youngster with an exciting future, just 26 games old at the moment, his career. Here's a chance at the back for Modra. Smothered off the boot. He'll try and regain his own ball. Can't do so. Smart was in there to assist. Collins heads towards the boundary line. And Gowers goes the even closer with a slap, and over it goes.
Yes, it was Anthony Gowers who affected that smother on the Mottler kick. He's been good on that outer wing against Anderson. That's an indication of how hard he's been prepared to work. The fact he's come right across the other side of the ground from his wing.
Wren and Adair. Down to McGuinness, on time. Must have the flu very badly. Ray Jenke with the ball. Well, it stands out. Hawthorn have come today to do whatever it takes. They've been fanatical so far. Good mark by Graham. Plays on, feeds it inside. Well, that's taking a liberty. It was intended for Hudson. Crawford didn't have the ball. Play goes on. McDermott on the point of the square. Langford, unkind bounce. Modra deep in the pocket. Fumbles. Gets a second chance. That's clever. Pokes it out towards the middle. Hall's over the ball. Tries to get it to Brown. And look at the pressure on Tony Hall. No chance. A former Hawk this afternoon on the receiving end. Taken by Allen. Well, that's good football to Gowers around the outer side. What a transformation this side is. Condon close to the boundary line. Chips towards half forward. Well played by Taylor. With his man under the ball. Taylor inside the 50. Dunstall on the lead. This is magic.
Yes, with respect to the Crows, it's almost too easy. Particularly the way that Taylor got around Pittman there. He just read the ball far better. Knew it was going to carry the two players. Turned before the ball had got near them and was away.
Dunstall going at goal number 6. He's got it. The Hawks continue to gallop away. 11-3 plays 2-1. The margin is 56 points.
And again, they're far more constructive when they come off half back through their back half. Either side, they're not concentrating on one side or the other. They have that option because they have winners all around the ground. And there, Taylor, who's been very good at centre half forward, giving Dunstall his 6th.
69 plays 13 in the middle. McDermott charges out of the centre, trying to lift his team. Gives it off to Tregenza. Back to Rashudo, but he's caught. Tregenza regains it and gives it back again to Rashudo. This time he gets a kick. Up to half forward. Crows wanting goals fast. Liptak at the bottom. Sits over it. He could lose that. But he doesn't. The bounce will instead eventuate. Wren in front, down to McGuinness, off to Jarman. 49 metres out from goal. Into the pocket he goes, and through for a behind. The 4th effective scoring shot for the Crows for the day. Under 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Smart in the middle of the pack, couldn't take it. Pritchard off hands, and he bounces his way across the centre. Look at the confidence. Here comes the charging Dunstall. At the back will be Hudson, but Hart gets there in time and gets a hurried kick to the outer side. Anderson chasing. Will probably be quite happy to see it go over the line. Wellman picking himself up pretty slowly after
not a well man.
He's not a well man.
Well, he had no choice but just back to that ball, carrying his head, and Dunstall, his efforts to mark, just
working with Norman Wisdom.
Oldie but a goodie. Schwartz over the ball. This is Anderson away from half back, but there's a whistle that's coming back. Hawthorn free kick. Well, not much to that, but Hawthorn have got the free. Hargraves for distance outside the 50. They'll contest about 5 metres out. Knock forward. All Crows, but that doesn't mean Hawthorn won't get the ball. McGuinness comes away with it. Hand passes for the boundary. Platten did well in a tight situation. Confrontation between Hudson and McGuinness, and still they go.
Steve Lawrence back on for Hawthorn, replacing Paul Dean. That double teaming of Sean Wren's worked very well.
That's the sort of fight I'd go and break up, Ross. Hudson and McGuinness close to the boundary line, out of bounds, and there'll be a throw in.
Is that because you're taller than them?
Yes. So boundary throw in about 70 metres from goal. There's Paul Deer. Wren knocked down by Lawrence. Pittman picked up by Hargraves, smothered by Pittman. It ricochets high. Lawrence backhands it down to Hudson. Hudson about 45 metres out. That's a terrific effort. Dunstall almost in the pocket. Crawford. Dunstall back to goal. Don't rule it out. Snaps. Platten goes back and it runs out of bounds, and Johnny Platten says it all. They're still hungry. It's 11-3 to 2-2, and he's dark. That ball didn't stay in play.
Under 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Lawrence. Ball held in by Rashuda on Jarman. Wren again prepares to do the ruck work. With him, Lawrence pushed wide. Hargraves went to ground. A chance for the Crows to clear now as McDermott gives it to Tregenza. He goes up towards centre wing. Tony Hall picks it up in that position and heads to half forward. Nigel Smart's his target. Got a hand to it. It may sit for him. He's clear. 48 metres out. That's about a half pass. Liptak can kick his second.
A bit more dangerous when they went forward there. That run off half back from Schwert, just setting up Hall there, and Nigel Smart again not able to get to that kick sufficiently quickly enough to take it on the full, but got away with it, and a good handball to Liptak.
So the margin 49 points, just over 6 minutes till half time. Modra still goalless. Dunstall has 6, 5 in the first term. McGuinness gets a free kick, held without it. Tony McGuinness alongside the centre circle. Made his VFL debut back in 1986. He goes out wide. Here comes Modra. Bounces off his chest. He was conscious of Gowers coming back, and Gowers did very well. He kept coming. He didn't shirk it.
Yes, just planted a little seed of doubt there.
So boundary throw in, right half forward, 11-3, 3-2. Lawrence in front, in from the side. Jenke slaps it away. McDermott, who by his standards has been pretty quiet, takes it across the line for a throw in. Well, the Crows, their invincibility on this ground suddenly in the last month coming into question. Up goes Lawrence, knocked down by Jarman, taken by Condon. High kick towards half forward. As always, Taylor flies in front. Roman, good juggled mark. Ward the stops of Dunstall just moments ago. Comes across the ground. Here's Jarman. Jarman kicks wide. Liptak's in front. Juggled attempt at the mark. Collins finds it on the ground, lays it off. This is Graham, who's been very impressive. The kick not particularly good. Schwert, who's been busy. McDermott pumps it back inside the 50. They need Modra. Knocked away by Langford. And out of bounds. Well, great illustration here. Dunstall at one end, Langford at the other. They came back for that game against the Eagles. Langford is holding Modra to nothing at the present time. And at the other end, we've seen Dunstall explode.
Both sides have kicked 3-2 for the quarter. It's over the line on the outer side again. And we've got under 5 minutes remaining. For the half, Raiden Tallis wearing the number 38 Guernsey, originally worn by Austin McCrabb. Smart in towards the pocket and over the line. Throw in, right forward pocket. Been the Hawthorn of old so far. Tony Hall tries to pluck it out of the air, but it's Andy Collins who takes it. Gets a hurried kick towards half back. And Lawrence almost nonchalant. Sweeping hand pass, and away they go again. Anthony Condon on the outer side goes up over centre wing, and Taylor takes the mark. Of course, he's come back into this lineup as well. That's besides Langford and Dunstan. Pittman holds that one up. Gives it up to Liptak, back to Jarman, into the middle towards Brown. Rashudo under pressure. Jarman's tackle was almost too high on Schwert.
Well done, David Brown. He had to go there. The handball wasn't good from Jarman. It wasn't the right option. Went too far forward instead of coming across. As Pritchard comes off for Tallis. But it was well done by Brown. He had to commit himself. Cop Gow's on the way.
Condon does the ruck work. Pushing it wide, but straight to McDermott off to Tregenza. Towards their half-forward line once again. An effective spoil by McGuinness. Wiedemann. Straight to Jenke. Ray Jenke goes to the outer side and Andy Gow's.
Gow's has been very good. 13 possessions. Here's Platten. His 11th possession. Down towards half-forward. Over the top, Pittman. A couple of timely marks. Sends Tregenza away. He kicks it towards half-forward. Up goes Smart on his chest. Just over 3 minutes remain in this first half. Nigel Smart has the ball. About 60 metres from goal. Goes for distance. Miscue slightly. Hall over the top. Langford. Brown did well. Lacking support. Modra hacks it out of midair. Goes across the goal face. In the opposite pocket, Rashudo. What can he do? Pulls it back and misses to the near side. He can kick goals. I think from memory got 5 against the Bears a few weeks back. That time missing. 3-3, 11-3. 2.5 minutes to half time, and Rashudo is the sort of player they've been needing a lift from in recent weeks. He's down again today. Those middle range players for Adelaide have been very disappointing in recent weeks as Crawford gets it to Tallis on the outer side.
Rayton Tallis kicks towards a centre wing. Anderson stands his ground. The margin at quarter time was 49 points. It's currently 48. Here goes the charging Tregenza, 65 metres out. Jarman charges him in turn and spoils it. Hall.
Yes, it was touched off the boot that Hall had to play on. The crowd may not have realised that.
See, that tackling is good.
Jarman comes away. Back towards Gow's again, and he takes the mark on the outer side. Off to Platten. The procession continues. Into Hargraves, just a fraction too high for the big man. Couldn't take it. Now a chance for Pittman. Caught. Gets a short kick only as far as Tregenza out of the middle. Look at the Platten interception. Beautifully played. Pittman did well to hold it up. And the bounce will take place. Just over a minute remaining. And half-time siren can't come soon enough for the Crows. Can they regroup? Schwert gets it out to McGuinness. Goes to half forward. Well, rarely do you see a mistake, but Brown dropped that one. Cooper tidying up. On his hammer is Wiedemann. Can't keep it in play, and that's really the story of the day for the Crows.
Wayne Wiedemann. His idol was Peter Dacos. Well, they play it differently. Graham slaps it out. This is Allen. Towards half-back. Well done. McGuinness didn't have the ball. Play goes on. Should have got a kick. Platten did well. Diving on top of it. Wiedemann offers his assistance to the umpire. We've got a bounce about 55 metres from goal. Lawrence decisively down to Allen. Terrific stuff. Allen heads for the boundary line, and that will do with 30 seconds to go.
And Ben Allen should not have been standing on his own in that situation.
No. Disappointing half as far as the Crows are concerned, and Graham Corns has a lot to set right at half-time. Lawrence has had an impact on this game that time. Got it down to Platten, taken by Hudson. Hudson breaks away again, goes looking for Dunstall. The clock is the enemy here. Less than 20 seconds. Dunstall away to Taylor. Interesting hand pass. Roman's got the ball now. And one storm at least may have been weathered by the Adelaide Crows. This is Tregenza approaching half-time. Wait for the siren. He goes looking for Hall. Not exactly down the corridor, down the hall. The ball's out of bounds. They're going very wide. Boundary throw-in. The siren stops all of that, so half-time at Football Park, and Hawthorn 11-3 have demolished the Adelaide Crows 3-3 in a powerhouse brand of football, the like of which we've rarely seen this season. Maybe in the last three quarters against the West Coast Eagles at Subiaco Oval was something akin to it, and of course today we're seeing Hawthorn, that same side, do it again.
Jason Dunstall finished the half with 6 goals. But the Adelaide Crows, if they have any consolation, they outscored Hawthorn by a point in that second quarter. 11-3 then, and the Crows are 3-3.
Ladies and gentlemen, playing out there in today's Hungry Jack's Little League, the two combined teams. In the Crows Guernsey, we have a combined Salisbury and Port Adelaide team, and in the Hawthorn Guernsey, we have a combined Port Adelaide team. Please give them your support. The winner of the Kenwood Crows home match raffle.
Round 9 is coming to a close in quite dramatic fashion. It's half-time here at Football Park, and the Hawks, after a blistering first term, have carried on, not to quite the same extent. 11-3-69, the Crows are on the board. They are 3-3-21, and the other match being played today is out at Waverley. It's between Fitzroy and St Kilda. Let's have a look at some of the highlights from that clash.
Gets away from Dunstan. Left foot in towards centre half forward. Good play by Grant. Got into the front space against Dent. Now he's outside 50. Goes to the goal square. Fode getting back. O'Brien. Oh, good mark. Juggle mark by the little fellow O'Brien.
And Fitzroy had to reshuffle the back line because Hawking found himself lining up on O'Brien and moved himself out to half-back to allow Jeremy Gard the job.
O'Brien from point-blank range has got the first goal of the match.
Now, down to Shanahan at the back is wearing gloves. He's playing on Doc Wheeldon. Here's Jimmy Wine on the Ross Lyon. Good play by Lyon. Around the corner, Ross Lyon. That is a brilliant goal. Taken by Keogh. He's lost it to Armstrong. Hand pass to Johnson. Further field's McCarthy. McCarthy bombs it from about 80 metres. What a long kick. It's a great goal. Oh, McCarthy a ripper.
McCarthy caught, I felt. Got it across to Dent. Another touch by Dent. Little squeezer. Tried to get it towards Wine. Is that still in play? Oh, Wakel's made a dreadful mistake. Wine with a couple of bounces. Could go all the way, Jimmy. 3 bounces. Check side. Goal. How about that?
Now, here's Boyd. Around the corner goes Boyd. Wheeldon. Oh, did he mark this? The goal umpire says it's a mark. He's still got plenty of room to run out and snap. Now, he should do that. Here he comes. Kicks. And the doctor has kicked the goal as he brings it in towards half forward. Doc Wheeldon flies. No, it wasn't. It was Johnson. Here's Wheeldon. Further afield is Jimmy Wine. He races in the goal. Stabs it low. Oh, I think there's another one to Fitzroy. Yes.
Goes with a high ball to centre half forward. Vidovic in the front spot. Well done by Hawking. Now Bardsley avoids a tackle. Quick kick away. Up towards 4-4. This is the furthest they've got it down there. O'Brien for his 3rd goal. He's got it. Good goal. Winmar. Good play by Winmar to Fode. Fode at 45 minutes. He should kick a goal, Gordon. He goes for it, and I reckon he has. Winmar. Might have been a touch lucky, the champ, but Nicky goes short. Looks for Bardsley. Zanotti there with Fode. Bardsley again. He's had a few touches today, Bardsley. Stroop a clever play to Harvey. Kick a goal off it. He does. He's a champ.
Oh, it's amazing, Bruce. I really thought 10 minutes into this term, Fitzroy were well on top. But this man, he's the one keeping him in it. Harvey, he has been fantastic again. Gets it to Bardsley, on to Anderson. Nathan Burke, if he kicks a goal here, they're in front, but he brings it back in front. A chance for Thornborough. He can't mark. Oh, here's Fode racing in the goal off the ground. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. Saints are in front.
Plenty of action at Waverley in the clash between Fitzroy and St Kilda. Some stations taking a replay of highlights of that game a little bit later on. So if you don't want to know the score, the progressive score, then look away, because I think Dennis and the choir are about to go into action again. Well, he's on them for country and Winston. But there it is. It's half-time there, and half-time here with the Hawthorn club doing it extremely well, giving the Adelaide Crows a football lesson. We've still got a half of football to come, so stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, while you're enjoying the plate, it's your chance to own a piece of football pack for just $14.95. Yes, it's a commemorative Football Park T-shirts are available now at the Crows Club shop in the members area and the souvenir booth by the red, yellow and green gates. These commemorative T-shirts feature green dye made from grass actually cut from Football Park. Yes, you can own a piece of Football Park for just $14.95.
Well, you thought you'd go with the form side at the start of the day, but I think Hawthorn has even exceeded your expectations,
I think
have they not?
have, Sandy, but they just show what a professional unit they are.
It's like the Hawthorn of old, isn't it?
It is a bit, and that's a bit disconcerting for other sides, I would say. And what's happened with the Crows, Sandy, they've continued their lack of form from last week, where they're very disjointed. They don't know, they can't get a setup, a structure down the middle of the field particularly, that's going to allow them to get some sort of form back. And they're a bit one-dimensional when they go forward. They're looking for Modra, if in fact when they do go forward with any sort of system. They haven't got anyone across half forward. Both Smart and Hole have found it very hard. Smart spent some time in the back line. I mean, Williams had his hands on the ball with Sandy, but you get nothing from it, unfortunately. And McGuinness tried hard. This was a terrific goal following up after breaking the tackle of Platten, but he's lacked that bit of spark, which you can't rely on him all the time. And their other ball carriers just haven't really featured that well, apart from Liptak, who's kicked a couple of goals in that second.
Isn't it amazing when it's your day? Everything goes right from the bounce, everything. But on the other hand, for Adelaide, nothing goes right.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what happens in footy or any sport. And you have those days where the ball can be running towards the boundary line and it'll sit up for you. Yeah. You can grab it, bring it back, your hand below your head, and you've got a player inside for you. The Crows do it today, and the ball runs away from them. Or a couple of times players have gone for the ball from the kick. The ball's just landed an extra couple of a foot in front of them, and they haven't been able to mark it, whereas Hawthorn kicks have just found their mark a little quicker. I mean, that's just all how it falls into place for you. And they've had players all around the ground who've contributed, and their tackling and their preparedness to run, to tackle and to assist has just been first class. I mean, if you wrote a book on it, you'd follow Hawthorn's form so far today and use those examples for other teams to follow. He's been terrific.
He's a classic example too. It just sat up so beautifully for him, and he spears it into Dunstall.
And I think I said at the time when that happened, it was just too easy. He read the ball much better than Pittman did Taylor. Turned around before the ball had got to him, knowing where it was running to. And it's, I mean, a lot of coaches would say it's a lack of confidence that the Crows are showing, which it is, because no one's standing up and is able to take control of the match. They haven't got one player who's looked threatening.
Tony Hall.
Well, he's struggled. I mean, McGuinness has done a pretty good job on him. That's Scott McGuinness. And Smart's been back and forth, as I mentioned. This is one of the few times he's had some control, and that's the second of Liptak's goals, I think, in that quarter. But again, he's struggling for momentum. They've had a few stats, I think they're coming up now. I mean, they've had their share of the ball to some degree, but it's always been a second-rate possession. And what I mean by that is they've been under pressure, and when they've got rid of it, they've had no real quality from it. And the centre breaks are even, but it's had, again, there's been no real effect. Hawthorn have got their goals from some fantastic attacking footy from half-back, and they've been much more creative midfield.
You don't quite have the coaching experience of, say, a Don Scott, which probably isn't a bad thing.
Well, it's not a bad thing, I suppose, yeah. All due respect.
But with let's put you in Cornsy's spot at half-time. How do you get a side back after you've copped you're scoreless for a quarter and you kick 3.5?
Well, it's one of those situations where the coach has to rely on the players themselves to lift. He's tried a few moves, none have worked. He's very restricted in how he can move his team around, so that's the other thing. So he has to rely on the players' pride to lift. I mean, I would think that their effort in that second quarter was better, but they're going to have a huge lift to get back into this game. So it's a player, an individual thing that's got to come out. There's not much the coach can do in this situation.
Johnny Platten's been busy. Would you like to hear from the Rat?
That'd be great.
Let's spend a minute with him now.
Alex Jezelenko. Oh, definitely the VFL and AFL Grand Finals. Missing out on the state side of last year with a ankle injury. In my early years was Cowboy Neil. Since I've been here in Melbourne, Alan Jeans and also my family. They call me the Rat. 2 reasons. I'll give you one only. That's because when my hair gets wet, I look like a drowned rat. So that's the reason. John Kennedy Jr. for obvious reasons. My running, I think. My body, I suppose.
Neil Curley just watched that chicken. Lindsay Backlund there as well. What are you talking about, Lindsay? You could never call Neil Curley a chicken. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back for the second half, the Adelaide Family Crows.
Welcome back to Football Park here in Adelaide. Both sides out on the ground. McDermott having a few final words to the Crows, and interestingly enough, Peter Knights has just sprinted out to the Hawks and back again, having his last words. Well, a man who knows what it's like to coach premiership sides from tough positions is our boundary rider, Neil Curley. And Curls, if you're in this position with Cornsey, what can you do to get them up in the second half?
I'd start praying. That'd be the first thing I'd start to do, because I think they need that. People down here have been saying, what's wrong with the Crows? Why can't they get into the game? Well, it's quite simple. The Hawthorn team at this stage are far too determined. They're using the ball brilliantly. Their skills around the ground with hand and foot are very, very good. And they've got dominant players all over the ground, and particularly at both ends of the ground. Langford has not allowed Modern to have a sniff. And, of course, at the other end, Dunstall's beaten 3 opponents. And, the way he's going, he'll certainly get into double figures. But you've got to admire the Hawthorn side. They came here with a very focused job to do. They've gone about that job in a very, very good fashion. And Peter Nice, of course, was very happy at half-time. But he has reminded his players that there's another half to go, and they've got to keep the pressure on and not allow the Crows to get back in the game.
Thanks, Curls. Here we go. Second half at Football Park. 21 plays 69. The visitors leading, and it's Deer who sends Hawthorn into attack down towards the half-forward line. Turner repels. A hurried kick is wide towards Rashudo. Getting away from Jarman on this occasion. He kicks up towards a centre wing. They want goal smartly. Tregenza's caught. That typifies the day. Out it comes to Crawford, who leaves it for Platten. Away goes the Rat. Up to half forward, and out comes Jason Dunstall. He's booted 6. He's going to have a shot.
And if Dunstall
directly
gets
in
it,
front.
Sandy, it's Shane Crawford's tackle that is responsible for it. To chase a quick player like Tregenza and bring him down. The ball spills free, goes back in Hawthorn's favour.
6 goals in the first half to Jason Dunstall. That's going to be touch and go. I reckon he's got it. That's number 7. 35 for the year now for this champion forward.
And at half-time, I didn't mention the stats on tackling. Crows 9, and the 26th one for Hawthorn, one of the most effective coming from Crawford, and that's been a big difference today, is their preparedness to tackle. Sometimes teams have high tackle numbers because they're running second to the footy. Not today.
Margin 54 points. Good bounce from the umpire. Stays a long time in the air. Wren got it down, but once again it's Paul Deer. Now towards half forward for the Hawks. Hargraves, a runner outside. He elects to kick. It should have gone out, and the kick goes out of bounds on the full. He should have given that ball. Crawford was storming past. One of the few blemishes. Here's Hart, deep in his own defensive area. Goes very short. Jarman on his knees. Schwert under pressure. Well, Turner going nowhere. That's the story of the afternoon. Rashudo, eventually Hart under pressure, kicks out wide. Anderson will need to stretch. He's got this ball close to the boundary line. Could have been pushed in the back. The boundary umpire says he was out of bounds. And it will be a throw-in. Graham Corns doing, I think, perhaps what Neil suggested.
It's like Tregenza may have pulled a hammy. Done some damage. Tongaree comes on to replace him.
That tackle hurt him when he came down.
Yep.
Tregenza off the ground then. Jarman, both of them. And the ball up.
Mark Graham started this second half on the bench. He's just warming up on the boundary line, not necessarily to come back on. Ray Jenkins at centre half back picking up Nigel Smart.
Rowan Saws affects the bounce. Platten affects the tackle on McGuinness. Allen around his body to half forward, and Deer takes the mark in front of the eyes. 55 metres out. The way the Hawks are travelling, he could just about kick it. Doesn't quite get onto it, goes into the pocket, and guess who? A look of absolute despair on the face of Hart as Dunstall obtained front spot and just locked his body around that ball. Number 8 coming up for the champ. Oh, he's only human. What's that, 7-3, Roscoe, is it?
Correct.
7-3. Let's go down to the boundary. Curls, what are the problems there?
Well, they've rushed him straight down to the rooms, and it's his right leg. It could be knee or hamstring, but I don't think he'll take any further part in the game.
So the Crows' problems not improving. Hart brings it back into play. Now he wants Pittman. And he finds it. That could just about be 50. Much to the delight of the members here at Football Park. To half forward. And Modra's the man. Inside 50, but only for a moment. Liptak now. Langford continues to take the punt. And it's Tongri who's forced over the line on the outer side. Throw in just about in front of the scoreboard. That man is somewhat shocked still, as I guess many are. McGuinness pumps it high towards the forward line once again. Hawthorn have the numbers. Jenke couldn't take the mark. Langford in over the top, tries to get the football out. Wiedemann is there. Jenke still working hard. McGuinness in over the top, and another bounce. The bottom is Andy Collins.
Here's the bounce then. Of sunshine here at Football Park. Out of mid-air by Allen towards centre half back. Loose ball. Opportunity for Platten. Did nicely. Cooper to Jarman. Into the path of Gowers. Gowers still going. Showed a lot of courage. Well taken by Taylor. Sweeping hand pass. Releases Hudson. Now he can run inside the 50. He's looking for Dunstall, who's dropping back. Now he goes goalward. And he misses to the near side.
Just watching Ben Hart there too, Dennis. He actually was turning with his back to the play, facing Dunstall, trying to cut off his lead. The last resort.
Hart now up the middle, and they get men free. Jarman to Rashuto towards half forward. That's better. Fall on his chest. Works it across. Well read by Tallis. He peeled off from half back with dash. He comes through the middle. Probing kick inside the 50. In front, young Turner goes up and marks this one. Dunstall behind him. Turner spots Schwert on the outer side and finds him.
Could go over the top to Tongri, which is what he does. The youngster has a bit of time to look up towards half forward, and out comes Nigel Smart.
That should be 50.
Yes, Raiden Tallis going across the mark, following his man.
I think his man went behind the man with the ball, though, didn't he?
He did, yes. Smart plays on. Pritchard gets the hand pass away. The Hawks have the numbers again. Oh, they're that keen. They run into each other, Gowers and Platten. Towards half forward, Wellman comes bursting through. Off to Jarman from the middle. He goes wide to the outer side, finding McGuinness. Off to Hall, but intercepted by McGuinness. Does well from the back pocket. Just chips up towards the half-back flank, and Anthony Condon takes the mark. Wants to get on with it quickly. Turner sees it over. And the youngster, in only his second game, will go home tonight and say, well, that's what it's all about, is it? 12-5 plays 3-3. Just over 14 minutes remaining in this first half. Bit of a stalemate on that outer side as Crawford picks himself up. But Hawk fans, no doubt, around the country will be lapping this up. Wren trying to use the right hand. Condon in over the top. Tallis and Platten are both there. And Schwert is underneath.
There's the bounce then. Just forward of centre wing. The Crows. Well worked out of mid-air by Hargraves. Down towards centre half forward. Unkind bounce for Taylor. Pittman flicks it out. Held a long time in the tackle. Play goes on. Opportunity then for Allen. He's about 30 metres out from goal. Well done by Wellman. Opportunity for Anderson. That's better. Brilliant smother there by Dunstall. Now Jarman close to the boundary line. Dunstall superb, diving across the boot of Hart. And the ball stays in the forward line. Inspired stuff. (12-5), 3-3. Wren feeds it behind the pack from the boundary throw-in. Taken by McDermott to the run of McGuinness. He's been handy. His 18th possession. to Brown, who had to wait, and he's run down by Pritchard. Eventually it comes to Smart. Adelaide lucky. Smart, high kick. Where's Modra? About third in the queue, and the mark is held in front nicely by McGuinness. Runners to the grandstand side. Platten is one. He's got the ball at left half back. Man on the wing. That's Hargraves. Peeling off Pittman creates another loose man. Here he is, Taylor. Chain reaction down the wing over the top to Hudson. Shooting fish in a barrel. Men on in the middle. Hudson goes goalward. Dunstall is down there. It's a behind. Well, perhaps that wasn't the option, but great transference along the grandstand wing by Hawthorn.
Turner brings it towards half-back and Schwert, and goes back to the youngster again. Over the top to McGuinness. Tongeri's on the outer side. Away he goes with the bounce. And another one. Where is it? He regains it. He's in trouble. And that is the Crows' day.
How's that for a contrast? What we saw just moments ago down this wing.
So a throw in on that outer side. Wiedemann, a Jarman, a clever tap. Platten finishes with it. McGuinness claims him, but he didn't have the football, says the umpire.
Yes, a quick handball in front of himself. Knew he was going to be tackled. I mean, you wonder whether the crowd sees a lot of this stuff. How they react.
Settle down to centre wing. Collins. Right half forward, and Hudson takes it. Still well outside 50, but he'll go deep into the attacking zone, well, which is situated in the crowd on this occasion. Andy Collins. And now Anderson to bring it back into play.
Anderson around the outer side. Pittman props in front, run over the top. Ball falls forward and goes across the boundary line. So the margin now is 57 points. It was 48 at the half. Well, a brave smile, I think, is probably putting the best face on that. Thrown in. Wren opposed to Deer. Deer giving away some height. Jarman, clever hand pass. Liptak, not the worst of them this afternoon. Slung as he kicked. Tallis in perfect position, taken high surely. Play goes on. Advantage was paid. This is Condon from Pritchard. Gowers, who's been good. Inside the centre square, down towards half forward. Camped in front was Hudson. He shepherds well. Quick kick from Platten. It bounces on and goes through for a goal. His third. Great team play that.
And again, another example of how the ball runs for you when things are going well. Good kicks, centering kick there by Condon. And then Gowers had someone short on the left but went long. Hudson had to go, which he did. And then Platten just quickly, and the Tongeri smother not there in time, and a favourable bounce.
Three goals to Johnny Platten, and the Hawks have 13. 13-6 plays 3-3. The Crows stuck on their half-time score with just over 10 minutes of this third quarter remaining.
It's another good tackle there by Cooper, this time on Liptak, allowing him to break away from the centre.
Wren and Deer. The former wins it, but it's taken by Cooper. Up towards half forward, and Turner has given away a free kick to his opposing number 22 in Hargraves. Kicked a goal in the second quarter. Looks towards Dunstall. At the back, Hudson. Dunstall is there. Tongeri tries to stop it. Still a chance, as it's pushed over the line and out of bounds on that occasion by Jason Taylor. Well, Dunstall was waiting and skirting the pack, but the ball didn't come out to him as it comes back in to Mark Rashudo. Not a good kick. Liptak in trouble. Rashudo again. Wiedemann wide. The Weed gets a kick up towards half forward, and Tony Hall takes the mark. Hall to Liptak. Still outside 50. To the lead of Smart. But the Hawks playing in front. McGuinness again on the last line of defence. Too strong. Modra has come a long way out. Fisted away from Crawford. An almost tired-looking Jarman heads towards the football. Gives it to Anderson. He's 60 out. Short little pass. In towards the forward line once again. Tallis was there. He's got plenty of support. And away they come. Crawford goes over the top. Gowes is running across half-back. Set sail up towards centre wing. Allen is there. Had it spent almost before he got it. Does get the hand pass away to Gowes. Into half forward he goes. Hudson called out maybe by Dunstall. Close to the boundary line. He loses it. Hart gets a short little chip. It travels nowhere except to Jason Taylor's head. And eventually finishes with Wellman.
Free kick going back to Schwartz, Andy, for holding on.
18 possessions for Schwartz from half back towards the wing. Over the top, Wren through his hands. Gowers again. Time to settle and pull it back towards half forward. Tumbling mark is taken by Wellman. 13-6 Hawthorn, 3-3 Adelaide. Oh, that's a very short pass. Rashudo, that's good. Pittman, right half forward, can take it and go. Pittman inside the 50, not a good kick. Through the legs of Hall, waiting behind Langford, who boots it back towards the middle. Well done by Wren, but only as far as Platten. Platten goes wide. Hudson, metres in the clear. He can run in and kick a goal from here. Hudson from 40 metres out. Grist for the mill for him. His first. Hawthorn 14-6. Adelaide 3-3.
All because of a poor kick from Pittman. The only reason why it came back was because his ineffective effort off half forward. The punch by Wren was good in the fact he got to the ball, but unfortunately went to the advantage of Hawthorn and an easy goal in the end. It's been in the tone of the day.
Seven and a half minutes remaining in the third quarter. Hawks have added 3 goals, 3. That's Adelaide's tally for the day. And that should be a free kick. Tongaree was infringing, holding whilst not in possession. Crawford to take it. Forward of centre, and he'll go down towards Dunstall territory. Out he comes on the lead now. Dunstall the flyer. Had front spot, couldn't quite complete the mark, but he spoons it out to Pritchard, who's just on 50 from a standing start. Pumps it high. Platten's got to beat about 3 of them. Platts gets a fist to it. Waiting down in front is Hudson. Needs to get someone out with a hand pass. Can't do so at the moment. He asked the question with Anthony Condon. Wellman at the bottom with a lip tack, and a bounce will take place. Deep in Hawthorn's attacking zone once again. High kick, and that is another behind on the board to the Hawks.
Hargraves.
Yep. His first score for the day. Now he kicked a goal actually in the second quarter, Roscoe, didn't he?
Yes. He's been a very handy pickup, Sandy. His efforts on the forward line, he attacks the football, he chases, and he kicks goals. He's very handy as a sneak in that area.
So Hart takes his time, then elects to go straight down the middle. Lawrence behind, Wren in front, in from the side Condon. McDermott couldn't control it. Back comes Condon, aided and abetted by Taylor. Condon again. Lawrence feeds it out wide. This is simply too easy. Crawford goes over the top. Man on. That's Hargraves. Platten closes on goal. 25 metres out. Goes at his 4th and gets it. If it's not a goal, he'll get a free kick. He was pushed in the back, but it was a goal. 4 to John Platten. Back in Adelaide with a vengeance.
Yes, and I'd suggest it's been a long time since Johnny Platten's kicked 4 goals in a game, and particularly into a third quarter. He's only kicked so far 3 for the season leading into this game, so he's doubled his tally, and he's been very effective, done very well. And not only just in his goal kicking, but his effort around the ground, because it's basically been he and McGuinness against one another, not in a tagging type role or following each other, but they've just been the respective rovers, and Platten's, I think, won that duel.
Margin out to 76 points as Wren goes up and wins it down. This is Condon to Collins, who goes in short to Platten. What a game he's playing. To Allen, like a training run. 2 men on inside the 50. Dunstall can go over the top to Crawford. Crawford is running back, but Dunstall holds up, and he will go for goal from just inside the 50. Adelaide trail by 48 points at the break. Dunstall's booted 7. Adelaide struggle to overcome a half-time deficit. They've won only 3 of their last 22 when they've trailed at half-time, and today it was always going to be tough. It's got worse. Dunstall misses to the near side, but increases the lead. His 4th behind.
(15-8) plays 3-3. Hart brings it back into play. Pittman's his target. Gow's an effective spoiler. Waiting down is Allen. Runs out of room. Well, earlier today they had a Legends game. Some of the great names of South Australian footballers. Peter Knights looks on quite happily, including Russell Ebert, Don Lidner, Jeff Potter, Greg Phillips, who's well known in the AFL. I think some cynical fans might be calling for them to see if they can give them a hand. There's danger here. Dunstall just shepherds through Hargraves for another one. All too easy. All too easy.
And the unfortunate part about this for Graham Corns is that he has tried quite a number of things today to work it out. Sandy asked at half-time, what would you do if you were coaching this team? What could you do to change around? Well, you can only rely on, if you've made all the moves, the players' intestinal fortitude, their ability to lift themselves. They've tried a bit, but just not good enough.
Well, just under 5 minutes till three-quarter time. Remarkable scoreline. 16-8 plays 3-3. Dunstall has got 7 goals. Platten has 4. Play restarts. McDermott spins out of trouble nicely, but in trouble again. Tallis pushed off the kick. They scramble after it. Well, I suppose now some hard questions will have to be asked about the Adelaide Crows. I've got to say, Ross, without trying to sound like a wise man from the West, this side reminds me very much of the West Coast Eagles in, I think it was 89, the year after they made the finals. And suddenly some of the players start believing their own publicity, and if they won't work, there's little chance of success. Interesting, Adelaide went to the finals last year, and some of their players appear as though they don't wish to do the hard stuff. In there is Anderson, tries to knock it out. On top of it is Pritchard. We've got a whistle.
Yes, so it's a tough call to say that about players, but when you're sitting back here, that's how it does appear. And unfortunately, if it appears that way, there's got to be some element of truth in it. And whilst you never like to say players aren't trying, because in their heart they think they are, but the effort at times hasn't been good enough.
Out of defence by Cooper. It bounces out towards the wing. Jarman, well done. Rashudo. Oh dear. Anderson sold into trouble. Couldn't do much there. Allen through the traffic. Lobs it down towards half forward. Well played by Taylor. Trying to crash his way through Wellman. Strong tackle got him down from Taylor. Wellman did nicely. Got it to Schwert. And it comes to Wiedemann. 16-8, 3-3. Wiedemann from half back. High kick down towards half forward.
Lawrence and Wren. The latter having to do it with the one hand. McGuinness does the roving. He does it pretty well. Pumps it high up towards the 50-metre line. But there, once again, is Shane Crawford in front of Liptak to take a timely mark. It's where their attack starts, from deep in their defensive zone. Their skipper goes towards Taylor, who doesn't let him down on the outer side. Loose players everywhere. Here's another one. Platten. Hudson must have a problem because he is almost alone. He is alone. He's going to shoot for goal, and this could be another one. It is.
This is appalling.
Yes, and Chris McDermott, who was chasing Hudson, then just stands in disbelief in that back half there, saying, who on earth is picking up all these players? Where are you? Again, Taylor away too easily. Then we have Platten. Then we have Hudson. As we're sitting, Pritchard off again, and coming on for his first run today is Matthew Young, number 33. But again, as I say, just far too easy for Hawthorn.
Back in the middle once again. Under 3 minutes remaining. 110 plays 21. Jarman, but straight to the brown and gold. The bounce will favour the Hawks. Socket out wide towards Allen. He's got a bit of space if he can pick up the football. Pittman is on his hammer. Rashudo towards the boundary line. Jarman's on him. And over they go for another throw in. 2 1/4 minutes left in this third quarter. Adelaide has not scored in this quarter. They didn't score in the first. Jarman off to McDermott, now McGuinness. Try as they may. Schwerter, a hurried little kick towards centre wing. Andy Collins gets front spot in front of a lip tack. But the ball spins over the line as we venture onto the Hawthorn bench. And they're all pretty happy, those boys. Well, they may be. Pritchard, the latest to come off for a spell. Hudson off to Gowes. Both have been busy. To Platten, who's been sensational. Look at the bouncing ball over the top of Pittman and Taylor. Pittman could be first to it, but he spoons it straight to Platten. There is the story of the day, and the Red has another one. Number 5. 3 for the quarter to the Rat. And in fact, every goal he's kicked has been at that end of the ground.
Correct. And if he didn't want to kick it himself, he had Ben Allen running free to his right. And once more, just too many numbers around the footy here. There's 3 or 4 Hawthorn players. 2 of the players Hawthorn are in front attacking the footy. It runs free and scoop back a little into the path of Platten.
21 plays 116. You don't often see Adelaide Crow fans leaving during the third quarter of a game. It's happening today.
McDermott, McGuinness, Tongaree now out of the middle down towards half forward. Hall comes on the lead and marks on his chest. Some of them have stopped as they get to the stairs.
Yes, 5 marks to Tony Hall. He's tried as he normally will, but McGuinness has had a fair game on him, plus the ball just hasn't come down as he would like.
Hall from right on the 50. 18-8, 3-3. Almost to the kickoff line and beyond. Jenky's in there. A lot of umpires, but only one will prevail. It'll be a bounce. Just a remarkable day. Up goes Langford. Intelligent knock towards the boundary, deep in the pocket. Look at that. Hall, absolutely no chance. McGuinness. The tackling has been superb. Tongaree shows a bit of spirit, crashes in there. Over the ball as Cooper tries to knock it out. Tallis is over the ball and the umpire wants it again. So a ball up. Down to 35 seconds remaining in this third term. Dominated by Hawthorn. Adelaide have not scored, so another scoreless term. Their third of the year. They own all 3. Ball out near the outer side. McDermott. Tumbling attempt, couldn't hang on, it will be thrown in. Now if I go back to their first year, their Simon Tregenza, they had 8 scoreless quarters, or goalless quarters I think. Adelaide, far and away the most in recent times. Condon goes up. But I don't know anyone's crammed this sort of record into a couple of weeks. There's Young. It comes to Taylor, to Platten, who's been best on ground. Well, that's saying a bit because the man coming up here could rival him. Back he goes at the second attempt, and what a gutsy, courageous mark on the siren. Wasn't that terrific? He kicked 5 goals in the opening term, had 6 to half time. He's got 7 to the moment. And that is all about courage as well as skill. And bear in mind, a couple of years back, he received a nasty knock going back after a ball like that one. But he knows no fear. Deserves a goal, and I dare say he will get it. 18-9 to 3-3. The Crows are held scoreless. Dunstall has 8 at Football Park.
What a quarter of football. What a performance by Hawthorn. What a team performance. It's 3/4 time, and the Hawks are 19 goals 8. They booted 8 goals 5 for the quarter. Adelaide scored nothing. They're still 3-3. The margin is 101 points here at Football Park. Hawthorn 19-8 in a power display of champagne football, are leading the Crows who are 3-3.
This match is part of the Fosters 1994 AFL Premiership season.
The other clash taking place today is at Waverley Park, and it's the match between St Kilda and Fitzroy. Some viewers will be seeing a replay of highlights of that match coming up shortly. So if you don't want to know the progressive score in the St Kilda Fitzroy game, look away, because here it comes now. So Graham Corns leaves the ground with one of his charges in Wayne Wiedemann. Curls, what do you say? What do you say?
Well, all I can say is just how well Hawthorn are playing. You've got to be just here to see the general support they're giving to each other all over the ground. Like, if the ball comes into the half-back area or the wing area, the players from the last line of defence are moving forward, encouraging, helping, and being there if there's a mistake made. It's a fantastic exhibition of football by Hawthorn. And now the Crows, they've tried numerous moves, and they've tried different players on different players in matchups, but they just haven't been able to stop this Hawthorn avalanche. And once again, it's an ex-South Australian that's leading it in Platten. Last week it was Mangaline and Cockatoo Collins, and today it's Platten who's playing, I guess, one of the best games of his career.
Yes, he's been in a most exciting form. He's booted 5 goals. Johnny the Rat Platten, there we are on screen with him now. Curl, just while you're still down there, I mean, Ross Glendinning was talking about an attitude problem, and Dennis, after a final, you think after playing in the finals, is that the case, do you think, with the Crows?
Well, at this stage, they've got a lot of areas to look at, and the attitude could be one, but the commitment's another. They're just not hard enough at the ball. The Hawthorn players are much harder at the ball than the Crows boys at this stage.
Thanks, Curls. Here we go. Final term then, and the home side just looking for some respectability as McDermott tries to swipe it forward. But again, Hawthorn with Andy Collins at the bottom with Liptak are very quick to pounce on that ball and just lock it up. Still in the middle, and it could be a long 25 minutes for the Crows. Let's hope they can do something. Crawford gets a hurry kick in opposition from Tongaree. Losing it was Hargraves, and eventually it's taken over the line by Wellman in opposition to Tallis as Wiedemann looks on. Throw in on centre wing. Wren front spot, McGuinness. Oh, caught. Now that's unusual. So too Tongaree gets a hurried kick and puts it out right on the wing.
Yes, Wayne Wiedemann off, and Jonathan Ross is back on. He's at what you probably call centre half forward, been picked up by Ray Jenke.
Wren and Deer. Wren caught. Platten. His hand pass goes astray, but Jarman then lost it. Platten again goes in and digs it out towards Hargraves. Jarman and Tongaree pressure him. Smart in strongly. Claimed by Jarman.
Smart started this last quarter, Sandy, just outside of the square on the wing area, and looks to be now following Ben Allen as David Brown comes off. Rouvray comes on, picked up by Raiden Tallis.
There's the bounce, about 60 metres from Hawthorn's attacking goal. Andrew Jarman gets it back to McDermott. Sends a high kick towards midfield. Up goes Ross, outmarked clearly by Jenke. Great judgment. Squares the ball. This is Taylor. Been very good this afternoon, Taylor, but who hasn't as far as the Hawks are concerned? Cooper runs off half back. Probing kick inside the 50, but not a good one. It bounces out of bounds. And a throw in just inside that attacking 50 for the Hawks. 18 minutes remaining in the game, and they lead by a massive 101 points. Brown just taking a peek. Here's McGuinness. Slung. Taylor pulls it back. Courageous attempt by Rouvray. Rouvray goes again. Battles hard. Hand passes towards the boundary line. Hargraves thinking about it as he approached that ball. Well played. Pulls it back. Oh, well done in front too by Smart. Gets there in the nick of time. Hudson bearing down and playing it up against the post with Smart.
19-9 plays 3-3. Hart to McGuinness. Will he look for Jarman? He does. Taking it off for Tongari. Push in towards Liptak on centre wing. Matthew Liptak has tried hard all day, but his kick is not good. Ross has got to leave Jenke, so Gowers promptly gives it to him. He drifts it up towards centre wing. Platten and Allen are both there. Together they combine and go towards Hargraves. Could have almost been taken high. Pushes wide to Platten. Geez, had a big day. Allen again. Short little chip in towards Condon. And the path nicely made for him. Creating now for Pritchard, who goes for goal with a long kick, and there's another one. It's an absolute procession.
Sorry to jump in there, Sandy, but the shepherd by Crawford to allow Condon to come through was just fantastic. It looked like being a head-on clash as the squaring kick comes here. Should have been a free kick, Sandy, as you said, through the call to Hargraves here. But Allen just sets it up, just goes over Condon here. Rouvray runs in, good shepherd.
The margin now 108. Good to see Darren Pritchard get a goal. Crawford gets it away. Platten again. Paul Deere swings it out wide. Hargraves in front. He's been lively. Plenty of opportunities, of course. Smart. Oh, that was ambitious. McDermott has it. Wheels around and gives it across to Wellman. He kicks it out wide. Tongari is at half forward. Goes looking for Modra, but it's wide of the mark. In fact, it's closer to Hall and runs out of bounds. Darren Pritchard, who captained Tasmania back in 90 and 91 in State of Origin matches, really struggling for form this season, but that long goal, the sort of thing that could lift him. And of course, he's playing in a side that's been prepared to share the ball this afternoon. Tongari fumbles. Close to the boundary line, it goes out of bounds. So many good signs for Hawthorn. We look back to last year, North Melbourne, with a side that came from nowhere. And that started in their Foster's Cup campaign. They lost badly, came back to be a real surprise packet. Well, Hawthorn left their start even later. And what a terrific transformation it's been. There's Liptak, hacked out of mid-air by Cooper. Or was it Allen? I think it was Allen. Tongari's got the ball. Platten's getting a free kick, though. Platten, his 30th possession. Dominant towards the outer side. McDermott with courage. Goes hard at that one. Runs to the 50. Goes long, but the kick, not a particularly good one. And that's a clever mark there by McGuinness. That ball was spinning awkwardly. He controlled it pretty well.
They've got the numbers. McGuinness goes to Cooper, who in turn goes to Crawford, who will go over the top towards Condon. Won't quite get there. Jarman intercepts, but he's claimed. Not before he gives it to Liptak. Here's a thrust forward for the Adelaide Crows. McGuinness again, a solid spoil on Hall. Hawthorn again with the numbers. What can they do? McGuinness on all fours gives it to Jenke. He eventually runs out of room. And a throw-in will take place in the Crows' left forward pocket. We've got 15 minutes remaining in this quarter. And Roscoe, I'm just wondering at what stage
they'll add to their...
No, well, they last scored. It was in the second quarter. Here's Tongari. Touched behind, but they have scored. Whether it was midway during the second quarter.
And looking down the track too, Sandy, they've got Fitzroy at home here next Sunday, but then they have Collingwood.
There'll be a lot of feeling in that one too.
Collingwood, North and Melbourne to follow up, so they've got a pretty rough sort of ride.
Yep, so it's a testing time ahead for Graham Corns and his Chargers. If they're to regroup after this belting.
What about this guy?
He's been fantastic, hasn't he? Smart the fly, that's a good mark. He did seem pretty pumped actually about coming home, Platt, so I'm not really surprised that he's had a big day. Rashuto on centre wing. Goes up to the right half forward flank. All the sting has long since gone out of this game. McGuinness has had a very good game. And voting will be very interesting in this game today, because it's been such a great team performance, Roscoe, and I, on behalf of the team, wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Now we're with Sean Wren. He's on right half forward. He goes short to Jarman, off to McDermott from a standing start. He pumps it high. On Modra! No mark taken. Away comes this defence again. Langford starts it off for Jarman, who pumps it wide to Cooper. Beautifully done as they're out of trouble. Crawford almost down to centre wing. Platten's running with him on one side, Allen's on the other. He goes inside to Platten. Suddenly they're inside 50 and suddenly towards Dunstall. Well, at that end of the ground, he's holding everything and no one can hold him at the other end of the ground.
Mind you, it is coming to him in a much better fashion, Sandy. But by the same token, as we see Condon coming off and back on again as Matty Young, is Dunstall taking marks like that. Quite often players aren't very strong in those situations. That's really where he's at his best, up off the ground, marking the ball so strong in that situation.
This for number 9. Does it so well. Does it so well.
Well, you're talking about votes before without preempting what I'm doing.
What are you doing, Roscoe?
I'm just deciding. No, it's one of those ones, you're quite right, where you have so many players contributing, but if you go back to that early first quarter, part of the second when it had to be won, there are a few players who certainly shone out, and Platten and Dunstall are two of those players.
There's the time remaining and the deficit. Adelaide no match for Hawthorn this afternoon. Here's Hall, gets it away to his opposite, number 9, Crawford. Good pressure applied by Tonga. He forced the error. On the outer side, McDermott's got problems. Away to McGuinness, forced to go with his right foot, out wide and hauled. So Jason Dunstall, his previous best against Adelaide, 9-1. He's topped that this afternoon by a few behinds. Crawford. In short, well, set Deere a task. You can laugh about it now, but in a tight game it wouldn't have been too flash. Out of mid-air by Platten. The way he's going, it'll find a teammate. Well, Hargraves almost. Yep. This is Collins. Darren Jarman. Rashudo got him. The hand pass comes to Taylor. Taylor goes short. Gowers, 30 metres from goal, no one on him. Stops, kicks. It's all too easy. And it's fisted through by half. And I think surprise more than anything else affected the kick there from Gowers.
Well, he's been a player that's been quite outstanding. Andy Gowers.
Hart brings it back to McGuinness. 11.5 minutes remaining. From half back, he goes towards Smart. Comes over the top of Young and takes a foot mark. Well, not paid, but the advantage anyway. As he played on, got it across to Jonathan Ross. Whistle has sounded. The advantage again is going to be paid. Hall sent it forward. This was to Rouvray. Don't tell me. He's done it. Paul Rouvray has kicked the goal. It's the Crows' fourth. They trail 4-4 to 21-10.
Yes, and Greg Anderson's off the ground, and there with that little clash is almost typical of how the Crows have played today. Get the free kick, but Rouvray, their first since something like about at least halfway through that second quarter, their first goal coming in this last quarter.
Rucks go at it again. Ross taps it down. Liptak out of the middle. Tackle by Platten. Strong tackle too. Tallis going nowhere. Smart confronted by Collins. Back came Young. Smart. Tongaree. Now Liptak. 55 metres from goal. Can Modra get something here? He's going to get a free kick. Well, he may be a bit lucky. He propped in front of Langford, and Langford's not happy. He was looking at a perfect game here.
Yes, umpire Rowan Sawyer is the one that's playing that. He was behind that action, not on that side where they were running toward him, so he had the same view as us, and we saw that on the TV.
So Modra, a chance to blemish the impeccable record of Langford. The old check side, and he kicks it behind. Langford goes back and has a word to the umpire. Told you so. Modra a behind. And it's 4-5 to 21-10. Just over 10 minutes remain. They should have a mercy rule in games like this, like they do in baseball. Well, for interest, maybe put Langford in a Crows jumper and put him down on Dunstall. Get the crowd back into it. There's Langford, able to spot a man 70 metres downfield, Collins, and it will come off. Jarman,
look at them running.
Cooper, Young, demoralising stuff for the supporters of the Crows. It should have gone over the top to Taylor, but it's pulled back towards Hudson. Too easy. Gets rid of Schwert, tracks it towards the pocket. Should have given it off. Now he's got a problem. It comes to Hargraves, who sockers it against the post. Good effort. They're behind.
But as Sandy said, as they came down in waves off that half-back line, they just had so many options.
Hart goes out towards Jarman. Off to McDermott. In trouble. Not before he finds Wiedemann. Spearing it in towards the middle. Oh, Smart, you're gone. Tongery goes in to help. Pittman sockers off the ground and gets valuable distance down towards the right forward pocket region. McGuinness is playing in front and doing it well. Sneaking away from Wren. Gets a short little pass down towards the half-back line, and Allen takes a finger tipper. Into Crawford. Suddenly Hawthorn across the centre, and with Platten again. It's been Johnny Platten's day today as he kicks them towards Hudson and Gowers, and he too has performed extremely well.
I think he's been excellent.
70 metres out. Here's Dunstall. Well, that was just a casual stroll for Jason Dunstall as he led for that ball.
Yeah, Gowers had an important job to do on Anderson. Greg Anderson, that is, and he's done it very well. Very versatile player is Andy Gowers. Centre half back, wingman, wherever you like, he can fit in.
This for his second successive bag of 10. 40 metres out. Dunstall shoots, and Dunstall has booted 10. No, he hasn't. Look at that. Oh. Well, we must never assume. Rub it out, Dan. I'm sorry.
5 behind.
What's that? 9-5.
Thank you, Sandy.
Your word is law with me, Sandy. It was in the book. I was looking down.
Oh, dear. Hard again to bring it back into play.
Goes short. The Schwert. Around the other side, Wellman kicks it towards the wing. Smart wants to play onto Jarman. He was tied up well by Pritchard. Eventually it comes to Jarman, forward of the wing, kicks inside the 50, body to body. Jenke against his old teammate, the man he would respect, takes the mark. Hall stands the mark. Here's Pritchard further afield, just carries the ball to the man on the mark. It's almost contempt at the moment. I haven't seen a game like this season. Not for a long time, really. Ross, very high kick. Jarman in front, fisted away by Tallis, taken by Lawrence across to Gowers. Gowers back towards the wing. Hudson about half pace to Allen, who runs down a half forward. Dunstall again. He's got 10. 5 in the first quarter. I mean, he's got 9.
It's catching. He needs a behind for 9-6. That'll make it 10.
Goes in short. Allen's got it.
Short again. Lawrence has just drifted down.
He's got Matty Young on his right if he wants him.
It's unbelievable. Seven players have kicked goals for the Hawks today. Steve Lawrence is looking to make it 8 with a drop punt that is away to the left, and one behind is Sydney.
They've taken Langford off Modra. He's come out to guard Hall. Interesting. In fact, he's not picking up Hall. He's picking up Turner.
Well, kick back into play, and there's a good mark taken by Pittman, almost down into the middle.
Maybe they're working him on his way down to Dunstall.
Off to McGuinness. Crowd streaming out of this ground. Jarman picks it up as casual as you like. Look at that. I'll do it with one hand. I'll show him the footy for a moment and go short to Taylor. Off he goes. Another short one down in towards the right half forward region, and Hargraves round his body he pulls it, but that's a poorly directed kick.
I see Langford is off the ground. That's why he was moved down progressively, and Mark Graham, who spent most of the second half on the bench, comes on to replace him.
Here's trouble. Dunstall and Hart. Hart taps it clear, but straight to Platten. Dunstall picks it up, but Hart is going to get a free kick for a push.
It's a shame in many respects, Langford coming off virtually to silence, but that was worth a standing ovation.
Yep. Fantastic.
Had it been at Waverley or the MCG.
And a vote?
I don't want to influence you.
No, it's up to you. And you alone. Wiedemann on the outer side.
So Wiedemann wants to play on. Hand passes to McDermott. He kicks it down towards half forward. And up in front, the mark is held by Rouvray. He's kicked one goal, 1 out of their 4. And the crowd say, take a shot. 21-13, 4-5. It will be a tough week, I think, in Adelaide this week. Rouvray, Goldwood, wide of the mark. Behind. 4-6, 21-13. There's probably no side quite like Hawthorn when they set themselves, and they're travelling well. They're probably trying to organise next week in Papua New Guinea.
Gowers couldn't take it. Rashido receives from 60 metres, goes in towards full forward, and a chance now for big Sean Wren. Directly in front, 25 metres out.
Well, here's a player who's had very little influence on this game after such a valiant effort last week against Essendon. Wren's been double teamed by Paul Dare, and Steve Lawrence just found the odds too great.
Wren for his first, and he gets one. Second goal to the Crows in this quarter. They have moved to 5-6, but they trailed by 103 points.
Yes, well, both Sean Wren and Ben Hart will remember their 50th games for the Crows, not because of the performance of their team, but because of such an ordinary effort. It will stand out, I'm sure, but it may set them for better things as the year comes on. I would certainly hope from the competition's point of view there's a better performance coming from the Crows in the ensuing weeks.
So the margin is 103 points, and I guess from the Crows' perspective they'd like to get it below 100 here. So let's see what happens in the final 4.5 minutes. Crawford out to Graham. He started the game pretty well. He swings it very wide. Ben Allen's got it. 19th possession, goes to the wing with the kick. Pittman got a fist on it, knocked it forward. Wiedemann crashes in. Liptak's over the ball, tries to slap it out. Well played by Lawrence, taken by Smart. The hand pass misses the mark, and Pittman chips it out of bounds on the full. Involuntary action as the big size 15 came up there and helped it on its way. More fans headed home. Just a trickle. In front, Allen to Platten. He pulls it back. Gowers over the top to Tallis. Through the middle he goes. Kicks inside the 50. Out he comes. Dunstall couldn't control it. Fell in front. Liptak sold McDermott into trouble. McDermott with courage. Diving on top of him, Platten. Two firm friends in a firm hold there. That's nice to see.
Yep. And the bounce just outside 50. McDermott's kick was absolutely smothered by this wonderful tackling machine of Hawthorn. $103 points. Well, they copped a belting here in the first game, Hawthorn, but since then, when they've come to Football Park, things have been pretty good for them. Tongery couldn't take it cleanly. Sockers it off the ground away from Taylor. Down towards half forward, Collins and McGuinness. Collins just charges it clear. Down towards Pritchard and Taylor. Over the top to Lawrence or Tallis. They're both there. Taken by Liptak off to McGuinness. He has a look up towards the forward line. It's almost down to the 50 metres. McGuinness comes to meet it. Comes almost off his heel, and Cooper sees it over the line.
Barry or Scott Noy from Jervois, would you please contact the matchday office? Barry or Scott Noy from Jervois.
Throw in on the outer side. the last couple of minutes. Ben Allen off to Tallis. Platten wanted it, but he didn't get it. Now he's got it and he's away. One bounce for the best on ground performer. He's in the middle. He blasted towards the 50. Dunstall couldn't take it. Hart's going to sneak away on this occasion. He does with a hurried kick. But Platten may keep it in. No, he won't get there in time. Try as he may. 27 kicks, Johnny Platten. Just a fantastic performer.
And 5 goals.
And still running.
8 hand passes. It's a long list.
Thank you very much. Rubrader smart off the Jarman. Forward of centre wing goes Jars. Now up towards the 50. And it will be Tony Hall. Possibly to have a shot from just outside 50. Tony Modra hasn't had a goal today. That's a good looking kick. An excellent kick. And he's just about made it. He has. Wonderful kick from Tony Hall. And they've cut the century lead.
Yes, well, Tony Hall's had 9 goals coming into this game for the season so far and has struggled to find some of the action today. It's been a good duel between he and McGuinness. McGuinness has won out. Not through a lack of effort from Hall. That's a good kick.
A certain symmetry with their scorelines so far. Nothing in the first and third terms and 3-3 in the others. Here's Platten about 35 metres out. He's kicked a goal. He's got his 6th. 4 in the second half. So Dunstall started with 5 in the first term, 6 in the first half, and it's been Platten who's done the bulk of the scoring since half-time in a remarkable performance. That is now 37 possessions, 6 goals.
Yes, well, there's no question, if I can just speak from a little bit of experience, when you've been away from home for some time playing in AFL, VFL, as Platts has, and you come back to your home ground, it really does give you a lift to play on familiar territory, coming back to a familiar area, and it really does lift you, and he certainly performed that way today.
44,405 fans here at Football Park today. Many of them won't have a happy dinner. Young takes it and goes in towards Dunstall territory, who's got a turn on a threepenny bit.
It's just that ankle problem he's had and been carrying a little bit anyway. He's a bit proppy in turning that way.
Yes, it affects him for the first 2 or 3 days after a match, and well, let's just hope it does heal in time for the champ. Taylor plucks it out of the air, bends one in towards a full forward. Wellman is there, twisting and turning out of trouble. Gives it to his skipper, who's away towards Wiedemann on the outer side. On half back is the Weed. Back to McDermott. Plays on. Finds Rashudo. Goes across the centre, up towards half forward. And the mark taken by Jonathan Ross. Modra's still looking for a goal. His first for the day. Mark's going to be paid. And he's going to get the opportunity with what could well be the last kick of the day.
Yes, and I think Chris Langford might send the runner out to Ray Jenker to say, what are you doing to me?
You've spoiled it.
Yeah. They read the paper tomorrow, they won't know I was on.
That's right. The move doesn't go down in the history books. At the other end of the ground, Jason Dunstall is leaving the arena as Modra scores his first for the day.
Well, at least we've got our wish now. Dunstall's on Dunstall.
9 goals, 5 was it, Ross?
Yes, it is.
For Jason Dunstall.
And some applause for that player as we see that mark again from Modra. And that's good to see from the Adelaide crowd, just acknowledging a player who can play a bit.
Fantastic reception there.
A bit. Gee, you're a tough man.
These champs mark each other hard, don't they? Green goes up, clean possession, and it's all over. A drubbing. Adelaide now with a week of soul searching to do. Their form in the past month has been, well, I suppose by their standards, particularly on this ground, terrible. There's McDermott, 32 possessions for him. He was a willing worker, but numbers told the day, attitude told the day as well. Hawthorn came to play this afternoon, and they were simply too strong, too committed, too hard at the ball. They were almost the perfect football team this afternoon, inspired by Jason Dunstall and John Platt.
Yes, between them, they kicked 15 goals, 9 to Dunstall and 6 to John Platten. 4 of Platten's coming in the second half. But it has been an excellent performance by the Hawks. And after the early hiccups of the season, they've settled down now and no doubt have issued a warning to all other clubs. Let's go down to the ground. Here's Neil Clearly with the best player on the ground. Curls?
Yeah, I think you're right there, Sandy. I think John today saved up a real good one for Adelaide. And John, your last 2 visits to this ground have been very happy ones.
Oh, I've been very good, Neil, and yeah, that was a great win today. And we sort of planned over the last couple of weeks that we have to come here, and the boys did really well. And it was just the way that we played today was just tremendous.
Well, the discipline, the team commitment, the endeavour from Hawthorn today is as good as I've seen this year.
Oh, it's great. About a month ago we were struggling with confidence, and the boys weren't playing very well. But the last 4 weeks has just been tremendous. We've beaten West Coast over there, and now Adelaide here, and we've knitted up over the last 4 weeks, and we did very well today.
Well, the turnaround's been remarkable. Like a month ago, you were down and nearly out, and all of a sudden, a couple of champions back, and everybody is playing well around them.
Oh, yeah, certainly. Jason's a very valuable player to us, and Langer's down in the back line as well, and the midfield's Charm and Crawford and them sort of blokes are playing well as well. So we just got to get the ball, get it down at Dunstall, and Dunstall kicks the goals.
Well, John, thanks very much for your time. Very well played, and good luck to you, Hawthorn.
Thanks, Neil. Just before we go, I'd just like to say good day to all the people down at Prince Alfred Hotel. Hope you had a good day, Nigel and Greg and Barry and that. Have one on me. Thanks very much.
Good plug. Back to you, Sandy.
Subtle as a stepmother's kiss.
I've never seen that before, Sandy, where the grandstand applauded Hawthorn off. I mean, Adelaide people by and large don't do that, but that was a great reception for a side coming off the ground that just thumped their team.
Yes, and fully deserved too, but the times they are changing here at Football Park. As Dennis said, a standing ovation for the Hawks. Just repeating the final scoreline here. Hawthorn 22-13, 145. 97-point victors over Adelaide, 7-6, 48.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Adelaide Football Club, thank you for attending today's AFL fixture. Next Sunday, a South Australian National Football League minor round game, Norwood against Central, will be played as a curtain raiser to the Adelaide Fitzroy Clash. The early game commences at 2 p.m. and the big one at 5:15. Please drive carefully on the way home, as we would like your attendance next Sunday. Thank you and good evening.
The Hawks just finishing off the day, and a smile from Jarman tells the story. 9 goals to Jason Dunstall, 6 goals to John Platten, as the final scoreline showing Hawthorn 22-13, 145. The Crows 7-6-48. Their main scorer, their only multiple scorer, was Matthew Liptak with 2.
Time now to check the contenders for the Mitsubishi Motors Mark of the Year. Each week, 5 lucky callers will receive a Black & Decker drill.
And let's have a look at them. Make a note of the number. Firstly, Andrew Dunkley taking a fine mark. 0055 60 681. If it is Dunkley you like for mark of the week. Now Glenn Archer, a strong mark on Friday night. 60682 for the very talented Glenn Archer. Stephen Silvani, what a great mark this one was. Running with the flight of the ball. 60683 for Stephen Silvani. Peter Dean coming back into the Carlton lineup. 60685. And great mark by the veteran defender. Matthew Rogers coming over the top for the Tigers down at Kardinia Park yesterday. 60685. They're the contenders. So let's have a look at them once again, and there are the numbers. Just make a note. You've got 5 contenders, namely Dunkley, Archer, Silvani, Dean and Rogers. Make a note of the phone numbers and then go to it and put in your vote for the contenders for Mark of the Week and ultimately for the Mark of the Year. Well, round 9 has just about come to a close. The other match being decided today is out at Waverley between Fitzroy and St Kilda. We're going to show you some highlights of that, and of course with a replay of highlights coming up a little bit later on. If you don't want to know the score of that game, then look away, because here it comes now. Well, let's talk about the game we've seen here at Cheer up. It's not the end of the world, is it?
Oh, no. Well, it's just one of those games of football where Hawthorn were just outstanding. I mean, in every facet of the game, we said, I think, at half-time, Sam, if you wanted to write a book about how to play Australian rules and put the video to go with it, that's exactly how you'd do it. And as Curl said at half-time, there wasn't a player really for Hawthorn who hadn't contributed, and that's where, if you can get that consistency in team effort through 21 players you have, you're going to be very hard to beat. And they're old-timers, if you can call them that. Platten on the ball, Langford at full-back, and then Dunstall at full forward were just, I thought, the best 3 contributors on the ground.
I don't want to take anything at all away from Hawthorn. They did a mighty job. No. Are there any excuses for the Crows?
No, they were lamentable. They were very, very poor. From the point of view of, they matched up all right to start with, but then some of their players just didn't seem to be tuned in. And once you just run on that ground, it's very hard for a coach to turn players around. If you're not prepared through the week for an encounter like this, knowing that Hawthorn have played well here, Sandy, and are pumped up to do well, then there's something wrong here. Given also the way the Crows played last week. Now, you could argue that they're out of form, they're lacking confidence, but for me, well, I mean, what is confidence? You can still run hard at the football, you can still chase an opponent, you can still put yourself in a reasonable position, but they just didn't seem to be prepared to do that. And to make things more difficult, Graham Corns tried a number of changes, but not one really came off at all. No. A couple of players, you could say, contributed. If you look statistically, a few of them, they've got a bit of the football, but the end result from that, Sandy, was very limited. I thought Rashude did a fair job on Jarman. Jarman was very quiet. He was probably one of the less contributors from Hawthorn, but then he didn't have many mates. McDermott finished up with something like 30-odd touches. He's always going to work very hard, but what did they get from those touches? And that's the critical thing. So a lot of work to do.
Must have a problem because he is almost alone.
It's this sort of thing here. Hudson had too many players free continually, not just early, but it just kept on getting worse and worse.
Let's look at it from another angle. What does it do to the Crows? They got whipped by Essendon last week after many thought, well, if they can overcome Optus Oval and Essendon, they're on their way this year. So they've had that and now this in successive weeks. And they haven't got an easy run ahead, have they?
Their run ahead, whilst they've got Fitzroy at home here next week, they then face Collingwood. And let's not forget that Fitzroy are a team who want to do very well here because of some controversy in the past. And Dunstall is a player who's going to be very hard to match up with. And they have Collingwood, which could be at Victoria Park, North Melbourne at Princess Park, and they've got Melbourne back here, so their run
by no means easy, Sandy, and you can't just find form overnight. You can't switch on and off and go to the, as Barry Cable used to say, go to the local delicatessen and buy a jar of form. You just can't do that.
Is he left in the shop?
Well, I bet it would be a pretty big shop to cover so many players. But again, let's not get, I suppose, too flippant about it. It was a tough performance, one where Hawthorn did play very, very well, and Adelaide have got a lot of work to do, which is easily summarised. I know it's a general